It's cooled off, but not substantially, and sure enough, we just ramped things right back up to where we were before, and even north of that. So the fear index is starting to pick up,
no.
But you know it's not.
Hold on, Joey, one more.
Yep.
One more. IVF is breaking out. It's huge right now. Here comes $2. It's up 158%. Shout out to the OG Bovin, who called this one out to me. IVF, very strong, guys, going into the close. Send them off, Joey.
Good stuff. All right, man. You know where we're going. We're going to the desk next to us. It's the big boys. It's Neil. It's Sean. And it's also...
Start smashing glasses every time we do that, bro.
It's Austin 316,
So good.
baby. The rattlesnake. Let's rock and roll.
Right, I was wondering. I like Stone Cold. I love Stone Cold. I was like waiting for something to break, or I also like the fact that we request a lot of things on this show and get nothing.
And get absolutely
nothing. Get absolutely nothing.
This man wants Stone Cold and gets it like that.
Whatsoever.
It's gonna be a while to get.
How long? More or less than 3.5 years. A month. That sounds like great service to me. I mean, I've been, I want to get like a let's go on.
No, remember the whole. Remember that whole thing where you could put like a devil and an angel on the shoulder? We asked about that.
And then I'm like, we got this big like thing that's happening when we did the 4-box, and all it says was traders on there. I was like, Fabian, my guy.
In the middle.
Fabian, man. This guy's staying over here like Ashton Genty before he gets the ball, but no one would understand what that is.
I understand what that means.
Other than me or you.
Sharif knows Ashton Genty.
Does he?
You know Ashton Genty? No. Okay, no, I think he knows football. It's like,
anyways, he stands there like he's Michael from Halloween.
Yeah.
Like that, basically, with his arms.
Speaking of Halloween, that actually gives me an idea.
Yeah?
The Stone Cold thing. Because that's another thing we can do.
There's a lot we can do.
There's always a million things. It's a little bit late in the cycle.
Yeah.
But like at least 1 year. I'm not saying it has to be this year, but at least 1 year we're gonna each pick a character and hook that up. Because that's
yeah. Well, I came out as Hulk Hogan for my wedding, so that was a lot of fun.
I'm surprised we haven't done that already, to be honest.
We'll be able to do something like that for sure.
And I'm not gonna.
Shout out to Ashton Genty.
You just gotta roll as Norman Smiley.
Yeah, you do. You gotta do the big wiggle. That's what he does.
That guy is the best.
He does that wiggle.
I hope he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. Actually, I don't know if he is actually.
No, because
actually, I think there's.
It's weird. Like you get to an age where like some of the people you grew up with, you just don't know. You got to look it up. I don't know. Norman Smiley was the best jobber in the history of wrestling, and it's like, because how many jobbers actually turned into a regular?
That's what I'm saying. I think he went higher than a job.
No, but he then did that without actually chinging his name. He was still, there was no shtick. He was still just Norman Smiley. Like everyone else has their stupid shtick. What was weird about the middle of the day is that stupid market tank didn't wait till like 1 or 2 o'clock. I think we would have been ready for it if it was later in the afternoon. But there was some great long. I'm out of every long. Took IBIT long. Took ARM long. Took silver long again. Covered them all. And I'm starting to think we're going the other way again, unfortunately. Because, like, we had, unless you're, okay, you know what, let's go right to brass tacks. Like, Apple's literally breaking the low of the day as we speak. The Nasdaq is rolling back over. Like, you saw, like, the crazy move, and then there was your bounce play. You had to pick and grip what you liked. The weirdest thing about it, the reason I was in ARM for the dip long was because we happened to be talking about some other stuff, and we were talking about stocks that we were recently selling. Yeah. And I'd recently sold ARM. So this is what, like, I had this up in the moment. And when we were tanking like that. So we were talking IBIT earlier, but the market's a little bit sick right now.
Yeah, I actually posted up here my own account here. So I did sell some Oracle on the long-term account there at 319 when it bumped higher. So we did get that fill. I did sell out of all of my SMR earlier this morning when I misspoke and said 58, but it was 57. And I can show you the chart there. So I'm out of all of SMR. And I actually asked, we sold it at 57 and now it's at 50. I have no idea what it's at right now. But I said to Neil, like, I could just make 15% back and buy it right there. But I don't know. If I think that there's a move actually coming to the downside, then I should wait for that to happen, I think. So we'll wait to see if that does come through right now. But yeah, so we're going to wait and try to be as patient as we can be here with the market. So we did do some of that selling there. And then we did buy some dips in AMD in our long-term account. And then we did buy some, in our account right here. I did sell some AMD today as well. I thought I posted that, but I guess I didn't. And then we did buy some Bitcoin today by using IBIT, and we sold some of that, and we got out of some IBIT. So back into some IBIT there at 108 on crypto. So not using 108,000 there. So what I did during lunchtime was sold Oracle a little bit in the long-term account, sold SMR earlier, sold some AMD up here as well, and then IBIT, we bought some, it might not even be good, right here, right now. So we actually wind up buying at 108. So I don't know, I'm just appreciating this move down, and we talked about selling some highs there in some names, so we're doing that, and just putting capital back to work. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. I don't necessarily think that this market is, you know, completely crashing in or anything like that. I just wanted to get a little more liquid as I'm nervous. We're heading into earnings season again. The banks were fine. Well, they're not really reacting.
Use AMD as an example. Like AMD's like multiple relative to, I don't even know, I should double check.
Well, I sold out of AMD because I went into my account and I looked, and this is not, I was up 270 something % on AMD. It's a longer hold for a long time. But if you bought in April, you're up 300%.
But I haven't bought AMD since we were our campus office.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's when I was investing in that.
Oh, well, then you're probably long AMD like at $4.
It's stupid, but I don't own enough of it to care. I shouldn't say that because like the reason I sold some ARM, let me just back that for a second. The reason I sold some ARM is because outside of NVIDIA, that was my largest chip-related name. So it's like, well, what am I going to? I'm going to trim something that I have a bigger position in.
Yeah,
so that's,
of course.
That's logic. But it was AMD in the market cap. So not the market cap. What's the forward? The PE is 38. Sorry, the forward PE is 38. The PE is 142. That's what I was getting.
So what did you say was
so like
forward?
The forward PE is 38. That's the forward. I
don't actually mind.
Whereas NVIDIA,
forward is only 28.
Forward PE is 28. Like that's, and its PE is 51. So, there you go. So like it's just so much more.
But you said their current PE is 100 and something.
Like 142.
So it's a little more expensive here than NVIDIA, but. AMD, the thing about AMD is it has those rocket boosters on it, man. I mean,
it's more volatile.
This is like, again, my biggest trades today, and the reason why I'm green, you know, is we got a huge move here that happened right about 10 o'clock when it just like, we got long and I couldn't even blink and it was up in the money about $1. Like crazy fast right there. So that was a great one. And then right here, during the midday show at 12:30, we came and we just bought this dip again off of these. We tried it first right here. We didn't sell it out because it was just a small piece. Came in, we wanted to watch 234 and then, you know, $6 the other way. So yeah, good trading here so far on AMD today. It's my #1 stock by far. We did retry some Micron right into here as well, right off VWAP. And again, like, my big trade, so we were down on Micron, and then we busted the VWAP break higher there from 198 up to 206, emptied the clip out right here. Like, that out right there, wow, what a save. And then we averaged back in here on VWAP and thought we were all Joe Cool-like, and then boom, that made a nice move upside again, and then we averaged back and then dropped it out. So right now, Micron's coming back into your volume-weighted average price again. So there'll be some trading talk here this afternoon. We're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Remember we were talking about sports betting?
Yeah.
This is completely random, but DraftKings just did a very, very large volume spike.
Yuck.
To the downside here. And Dara was just said in the chat, I asked Dara, did you see anything? Because I couldn't find any news for this move on DraftKings. I know the market's down and it's only down 1%, but that's a pretty significant volume event.
Someone just came in
for DraftKings. And the good thing about DraftKings is it's made a pretty good bottom. Like the May low has held up as a higher low, that 33. So maybe this gets back in to retest. At some point in the afternoon, I'll get into what we were talking about with sports betting. But for now, Joe is ready to get the afternoon rundown started.
Joe?
At least that's. Oh, my bad.
Sharif.
Sharif.
Wait a second. Is this your theme music now? I don't know what.
Yeah, I made the mistake because I wanted to hear the music. That's why.
Okay, good. As long as I just want to know what, because I want to be able to hit it too when I'm trying to throw to Joe.
I want the Shaft theme music then.
Neil,
if we can get some theme music up in here,
no requests.
I want
for
Shaft.
New things.
Done.
All right, back over to the desk.
The afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers right there is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Make sure, though, to throw in that $ followed by the ticker. Let's look first at all major averages. And oh boy, that is an uninterrupted look here on the hourly chart for the ES, down 0.87%, really bleeding here. Looking at losing 66.50, guys. All four major averages, in fact, are red, with the NQ also down 0.71, below 24,750. The Dow taking it on the chin, going back and forth with the ES here for who is second worst on the day. The Dow below 46,200, looking at holding on to 46,100. And here, the last but not least, the Russell 2000 made new all-time highs yesterday. Today, taking on the chin, over 2% in negative territory. Let's start, though, with the first ticker as decided by you, PRAX. What a move up here for PRAX, up 200%. We were trading this one earlier on the midday show. It is a groundbreaking phase 3 trial, guys, which sent this one up. It closed out yesterday at about $57, $58. Today as a high of 205%, and still holding, guys, 200% on the day.
200%, you say, huh?
200%.
Prax, yeah, big shout out to Sharif who nailed that one off the open. So that was a great.
Ninth,
or not off the open. I think it was 10 o'clock when we switched over with that. Was it 10 that started to bump?
Oh, you know what? I'm looking. The problem with these small caps, when you look at the chart, I'm so accustomed to when you're looking at the big volume spikes. Without looking at the time, I just assume that's the open. But if you look at the biggest volume, that's at 8 o'clock and all that stuff. So the opens here, it would have been around here, like the 187. Hey, that's interesting. Coincidence. 187 to 200, I think. But Luis was talking about this name. I think the important thing for some of these, and I know it's not a small capper because it's over 4 billion, but for these gappers and runners, is a lot of times the best trades, like getting it off of VWAP and getting it in the early volume, is going to require the pre-market. So this is it's a dish best served early for these stocks. I'll always believe in, but there was a little something here at the open. It's legit, and this is not some downward sloping, completely nonsense stock here. However, you're up 200%. This is in the let it simmer. Because look what happened if you look at a higher time frame, look at what is happening right now at 180. It makes a top and then there's a brick wall at $180 that it can't seem to get through, and now starting to pull back off of it at 171. So this is give it a beat. I don't know if it's going to be able to hold this bid at 171, and the gap on a 15 minutes like 10% down from there, which is nothing for this stock. So I think you got to pass on it for now. It's the early trade that gets you. How many stocks will you see where all of the pre-market volume absolutely dwarfs what you were seeing in the open range? You're just not going to see that happen.
No, I don't see my guy Mike P. DeRider in here, but you could see right in the chat in my, you probably hear, so maybe if I zoom in, this is him saying, y'all see Prax move right at 7 a.m.? So there you go. So that's what I was thinking. Shout out to you, Mike, who's in here right now, messaging.
You messaged at 7?
No. This is 5 hours ago. I'm just saying, people are looking, and it's good. I'm glad, because I know you've been mentioning that for a minute there. Oh, a message just popped in. I wonder if that was the Mr. DeRider right there. But no, I think that's very. I'm looking at Micron right here, trying to bounce off $200, by the way, right now. Yeah, I think those early moves, man. I mean, stick with them. That's just another runner right there. PRAX. Great trade by Sharif early. We'll start talking about more of these names and put them in the chat. We'll reload that little board there for you, and we can start discussing some of these names as we go. But let's get through this rundown, because there's like monster names on here right now, including what I thought was one of the strongest names besides Micron. We got AMD. We'll talk about that in a couple seconds with Sharif at the desk.
Yeah, what a rocket ship it was yesterday, Sean, as it ascended back right into those all-time highs at around 242, 243. It had a great day yesterday from the open to the close. We were up about 7.5%, giving back a little bit today, about 1.5%. No specific headline for AMD, but we did have Taiwan Semi raising revenue forecast on a bullish outlook for AI mega trend, they're calling it. So a bit of sympathy possibly there.
What's up?
Come on, people. Okay.
This is a 25? Oh my.
Yeah, look, so AMD again, like I had it written down here as the #1 trade idea that we wanted to look at today. I mean, it was just a huge mover yesterday, right? So, I mean, in this crazy move there yesterday, we started with the Nasdaq up today. So to me, it was kind of one of those names where we didn't want to miss what we had seen in the past. And I just got to move that so I can see the timing right here. And then we just found 236, which looked to me like an area of possible support. The only problem was today when it came, look, AMD is my #1 stock. It's huge. It's without AMD, I'd be red. So yeah, we like it. But first, early, take your shot, right? I took the shot at that was at 236 when it came back in. We got this really early in the pre-market, and I was like, okay, if we lose 50 cents from that, we're going to get out, and that is what wound up happening. So we took an out there. We took a few ins. So that was, we were down, but a cup of coffee, let's just say. Then it came back, and this is where the fun really started. Because we had that bottom right there, I could give it. I always try to give a stock, and I heard Joe say this, so our merge, the merger and acquisition is getting closer, Joe, because I did like what you said right here between dip buying in and around, giving levels more space. So if we're expecting, and I'm not expecting anything, but I do know that AMD can move. So if we're looking at volatility here, this is a $5 move that we had and we held, and we got a lot out for that. But we're going to try to always hold things about $1 against us, especially if we can find key levels. We know that there's a chance that it wicks those levels and breaks lower. So if I put my stop right here, then I am out of this trade. Right? But we give it a little bit more room to the downside and able to average in, and we wind up having a banger of a trade there. And the same thing kind of happens right here. This never goes against us, but right there, we take small piece, average it in down near this 234, giving it some room off of that low, and then boom. I mean, that's just whatever. I mean, this trade's pretty obvious. Huge move to the upside again, right? So get some out at the 21 period and then just explode to the northbound. Today's a real good day, man, and I'm trying to be as humble as possible, but those are just trades that they came in, they landed into our lap, we took it, we nailed it to the wall, and that was the end of that story. So right now we have a very, very small piece of AMD, $1.50 in the money, we have like 2% left. I'm waiting for that 234, and guess what? If 234 comes in again, and it loses it, I'm out. It's like, it's really that simple. It's all about risk to reward and making sure that you have the right, angles there. And I think we do today with AMD. Neil, I hadn't even looked at NVIDIA. Like that's,
I looked, but you know what? Here's the thing. I happen to be in ARM, but there's another thing that silver's bouncing off VWAP, so I'm back into that thing. We'll get there in a second. But if you look at, how do we do this? Go to Sean's chart for 1 second first.
And you can switch it off.
All right, so see the bottom.
Where here? Or early?
No, second.
Okay, yeah, 12
see that
o'clock,
one?
yeah.
12. No, it's not 12.
It's 12:30.
12:35. Okay, so 12:35. Look at the VIX, or in this case, because our charts at real trading, we have UVXY, we don't have VIX. So I can show you guys what happened on UVXY. Look at this parabolic candle where you're cruising higher. So risk is going up, and then you have a parabolic candle into the top, and then that reverses at 33 and starts pulling back. So the big, it's an FU, you know what the term is, candle comes in here, and then volatility pulls back. That is kind of like, it's a topping tail signal for volatility, which is like a bottoming tail signal for like the market and risk and all that stuff. So whatever you happen to be looking at that moment was probably, if it's going to follow the market, was showing a bit of a bottoming pattern. And so that's where I was. And like I said, I happened to be looking at ARM and Bitcoin at the time. It did this utter nonsense at the same time the VIX was making that top. It's like, well, if you wouldn't go long on that when the VIX made that pullback, then you wouldn't go long at all. And I think so AMD did it, the chips did it, Bitcoin did it. And right now it looks like we're losing contain, because we're pretty much like this. I don't even know if I like it. Like ARM went like $3 from here last time. I don't want it here. The market's too weak. This feels a little bit different. Like last time, didn't we bounce and hold the bounce? That's what we've been doing in this market. And today feels distinctly different because the Nasdaq looks like this. There's our bounce. All right, let's get to VWAP. We're not even getting to VWAP, and now we're breaking the low. So last-ditch effort here would be at the yesterday's bottom. Forget about the overnight lows were gone like hours ago. Yesterday's low is our last chance to bounce. I don't know if it's automatic. I'd rather buy something which is putting in higher lows as opposed to at the actual bottom. So it's just one thing to look at. I think the more volatile the market gets, yeah, I believe the wider stops, but those are the days that you do want to have the VIX up. Like literally, how often do we even look at the VIX? Every now and then, and these are the markets where it actually gives you some indication of what's going on. Let's talk about quantum, which probably didn't go that well for the long, I'm guessing.
It did not, Neil, at all. Over 14% is Rigetti in negative territory. So look, the broader quantum space is about up 5,000% year to date, due to positive developments, U.S. Air Force contracts, partnerships with NVIDIA, et cetera. But this headline here, the CEO of Rigetti, Subodh Kulkarni, he sold his entire 1 million share stake, which is raising investors' concerns about the conviction of management, guys. So ever since then, we've been putting in lower highs, lower lows, that $58 top from yesterday, and now we're knocking on the door of 47.
I think actually Luis was saying short this, believe it or not.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Market's coming in.
But he was like, but it was like a cautious short. Shorted, make sure it's on the back end after what happened yesterday because it double topped. I don't know if he shorted the stock. And we don't even have free locates. Like the one we can short for free is QBTS, and which probably did exactly the same thing. But it does feel like we're on the back end for a bit here. Like there's your continuation. So it hasn't really done 2 red days in a row since like September, and that wasn't even close to that bad of a move. So yeah, big time pullback. You always, to me, it's gonna guesswork where it's gonna bounce. Like I just kind of look at where's the most recent support here. So like 41.5. So I look at that and it's like, oh yeah, for a couple of days it held 41.5 before ramping. So until it gets to 41.5, you probably won't catch me thinking about longs and Rigetti. And we'll revisit it if it gets there, possibly soon. The way it's 13%. But this is exactly why you trim things.
Right. It's never a great thing when like the CEO of the company is talking like that, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think we can look at names like QBTS, and it's part of why I sold out of SMR today. We talked about this last night. Even last night wasn't my recap show, but the night before that, when we had Brian Shannon on, and I was talking about some froth in some of the markets. And it's not that you don't have to believe in quantum. I do. I think that quantum will crack many codes out there, and it is something to a little bit be worried about, I think, but at the end of the day, I think we're many years from what I've heard. Again, I'm not in this space if there's any engineers out there that may know more about this, but I heard that before we actually get the right amount of qubits and all that to be able to crack anything specifically, we are years and years, maybe a decade away. I think even Jensen was talking about a timeline as well, which that was sort of back in here. I feel like we had one of the first rallies in quantum, I think was NVIDIA sort of spurred that on. But yeah, I just think it's been a huge move. So if you're looking at your account and you're like, wow, man, I just bought this name back in, September. Wow, it's only October? Okay, and now we're up 3 times. I think there's a little bit of profit taking there. And then, some of these owners or CEOs and big shareholders, investors, things like that, hedge funds, when they start seeing this kind of return, I think it's a no-brainer that they start to cash out a little bit. So for me, I wouldn't be worried about it if you're still in these names, but I do think, and that's why I tweeted out a couple things today, that there was some froth here, and I even got out of some Oracle. The one thing that I didn't tweet out, I got out of some Marvell. And I'll tell you, 88.50, I got out of some of my Marvell today. I don't even know what it's at right now, 87.50. I did get out some at 88.50. I should probably tweet that out as well. It was just during the midday. Everything I was doing today was during the midday, so it was right probably in and about here. So we didn't get the greatest price, but we did get 88.50 today. So did sell out of some of that. And again, I'm trying to practice as I preach, basically. And it's just, there's been so many times, like I was saying, I'd even met with a wealth manager at the bank there because I didn't want to, looking at stocks all day and making decisions, sometimes I tend to make bad ones, but then I just sort of told myself, I manage my own money like I've been doing for a while. I just have to make sure that when I see something and I just trust in it and try to get out a little bit. So that's what I did with Marvell. And then also we did dip by in some Bitcoin. We'll talk about that once we get going. But
actually, to that point,
go.
I think it's a good point, the whole left brain, right brain thing. Before we did the show, I actually had a personal policy. I would, while looking at the markets every day, I would never engage in my long-term account. I wouldn't talk about it.
Smart.
I wouldn't think about it, and it served me well for a long time. And now we do the show. I'm more mature now, so I'm better with it. I have a feeling if I was younger, I probably wouldn't have been. You need to do that stuff when you're younger, because I probably would have made some more rash decisions as opposed to just sort of being methodical about it. Now I think it's okay, but the other thing to consider when you're in this environment too is if it doesn't feel right, and just something you don't. I look at this stock, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That move is too much for this company that I have, or the stock that I own. This is now too far stretched. If you get that feeling, and you're deep in the money in it, I understand FOMO, and if you sell some, maybe you don't get it back in. Maybe it doesn't dip, and you don't get it back in. But it's never the worst thing in the world to do, especially if everything is telling you it's just a little bit much, man. Like I looked up at Caterpillar and I was like, there's a lot of risk in this top in Caterpillar if there's a pullback in the economy. If China has some issues, like it's just there's a lot going on. So if it's sitting there at all-time highs and too much of your portfolio, what's the end of the world taking 10 or 20% off? Anyways, let's talk about Tesla, which I did not trim at the top.
It's down again, Neil, 2.5% on possibly this headline here. BNP Paribas is just initiating coverage on Tesla now. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, the analyst there, James Picciarello, he initiated coverage on Tesla with an underperform rating and a $307 price target. He likes the two AI-led ventures, the Robotaxi, the Optimus, but he says they generate 0 sales today, but inform about 75% of the firm's 1.02 trillion valuation. He notes that he takes a positive view on them, but he can't stomach the valuation. As a result, he's initiating an underperform rating, guys.
Oh, I just saw a good comment, and I'm on that thing. My only beef about this putting the chat up, and I'm just going to do it the old way, because I have to find the actual comments. I have to scroll to the comments, be able to flash it for you guys.
I'm telling Brendan.
What? What did I do?
You're putting the chat on the screen, my guy.
I know, but like I can't find.
We have direct orders.
I'm trying to find it in the thing so I can do the update, and I can't find it.
I'm trying to save people's jobs.
So I'm just gonna read it. Common sense says Neil is the Mr. Rogers of the stock market. If you think, trust me, I got a way better Mr. Rogers sweater than this one, and maybe I'll wear it tomorrow. I got a real Mr. Rogers sweater. By the way, that dude is an absolute legend.
Rogers, yeah, he passed away, I think. I forget his name, but he did pass away.
If you can ever find it, that he gave like a speech in front of like Congress or something.
Oh, did he? That guy's must be a legend.
And then there was another one where he was talking, like I don't know. Anyways, it's just, the guy is he's an absolute hero. Like somebody that just gives for the sake of it because he wants to see people do better. Like,
oh, like charitable and stuff?
No, just in terms of like
oh, just the way he speaks.
The way he speaks.
That's nice.
The reason he did the show, like he's that person in real life. Unfortunately, Tesla's an absolute dumpster fest today. And when I was saying I didn't trim any of this at Tesla, hindsight's always going to be 20/20. And the thing about it, I'm usually like this, where like remember 220, 222 was like the number, and 220 was the support. I am typically that guy who will tell you if it's resisting at 440. When the bottom was 220, of course you trim there. That's exactly a double up. And it finds resistance exactly at that spot. So I'll probably, be honest, it doesn't matter, 420 or 440. This might be one that I take a little bit out of. For this afternoon, it seems like gap fill down to 418. Like 418 is the bottom from today's Thursday, so that's Tuesday. 418 is the bottom from Tuesday. So maybe we can get down there, bounce off the old 420 area here on Tesla, because it's been sick at 440 every single time it gets there. And that's the important thing. Price action matters. Long term, we talked about this morning, like automated driving. You were mentioning how great the features are. I love Tesla. I believe in Tesla. But that doesn't mean it can't head a little bit lower from here. So, you know, I think that's all that's happening now.
Tesla's like the original cult stock. I mean, I'm sure there was some back in the day, but in the last 20 years, I mean, as the market goes, kind of so does Tesla. I mean, if there's going to be some weak feels about the market, Tesla's going to get crushed, right? I mean, there's obviously the controversy about the pay package. We'll see what goes on there. I mean, there shouldn't be anything. It's all tied to performance, so I don't understand what the problem is there. It's supposed to be a free market, but I worry about a 400 loss. Of that level, to be completely honest with you. We had a monster move up right there. We are a little nervous about that. The only thing they've come up with, instead of giving us that Model 2 and all that, they give us a cheaper version of the cars that already exist. I'm not in love with that, but I don't hate it either. I think it's going to help with their delivery numbers, which eventually helps out with full self-drive. Regardless of the car that you're in, if you can get an FSD in there, I think that's going to be a game changer. I know there's a lot of friends that I have specifically that always, now that they know that I have a Tesla, they're always asking, do you have full self-drive and all? Like, everybody is so excited about that, and I don't have it. So I think it is the way of the future. I think it revolutionizes and changes the way taxi services are operated and everything like that. So I think Elon's obviously onto something here, and I always thought that the home, and I don't know if they do this anymore, but there used to be like a home powering. I forget what that is. That's called there for Tesla, but it's like a generator and things like that. I still thought there was opportunities in that business as well, but
it's still an energy.
Maybe they're not even in that business anymore. But yeah, I like Tesla for an energy company as well. I mean, this guy, I think he can think of everything. So I don't know what's the next step. We wait for it. Be patient with Tesla if you're in it still. But look what's happening right now, right? The market's about to lose the bottom right here. And whoops-a-daisy, you know, Tesla's getting a lot more aggressive on no headlines from what I can see. So we'll figure this out. I mean, if they lose China, not the company, but if the United States and this sort of back and forth here with President Xi doesn't go the way that Donald Trump's thinking, I could see Tesla, Nvidia, some of these big boys, they're going to be the first ones to get the gun pointed at them. So I'm a little nervous for that.
I think the gun's pointed at them right now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I mean, if China gets solved,
then it's it's Moon.
Then you're fine. So
when
Moon, yeah, exactly. When Warren Moon, you know.
Maybe not for the. We were talking about Warren Moon earlier because
the CFL.
Norman Smiley looks like Warren Moon, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.
And you look like Warren Moon then.
I don't think I look like Warren Moon.
No, you don't. You do look like Norman Smiley a little bit.
I think. A lot
of people don't know who Norman Smiley is.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You have to be a really
He's
big
light-skinned,
You have to be a huge wrestling fan to know Norman Smiley. So it's going to go over your guys' heads. But
it's not in a minute because I'm going to show it.
No, you have a picture of.
I do, right here. Look. I mean,
I don't have the mustache, though. I have to do it.
This could be.
It'll take a lot of work.
This could be.
This is Norman Smiley.
It's on Instagram. This is Norman Smiley.
Norman Smiley. The greatest jobber in the history of wrestling. He was a legend.
It's called the Big Wiggle, man.
He was a legend.
I can show you his. Oh, here it is. He's going to be wiggling right now. Oh, get this guy out here.
Come on,
get
get
quiet, dude.
Don't pimp this guy.
Okay, no, forget about this guy. I'll find the Big Wiggle coming up soon here. There he is.
Oh, he's doing it right here.
He's doing it right here. This does kind of look.
I'm not Jack. Like, come on. I'm not Sharif, bro.
There we go. See? The Big Wiggle.
That's the dude. That was so hilarious.
That's what it is. Norman
He was so funny.
All right, back over to the desk and maybe we talk about something.
Before we get to, I know we're going to right to the desktop of LAC. IVF is halted way to the downside. Way down. $1.30 is just halted back down. This was obviously
by the way,
doing really well, but this is absolutely tanking.
While we were doing the big wiggle, we did the big profit. And there it is again. Boom, Norman Smiley. We smiling all the way right now, guys. There it is right there. Look at that play there on AMD. It just comes right back. This is what I'm talking about. Trading is definitely not easy. There is no doubt about that. But when it comes right back into your lap again, and we can do the big wiggle right there, we do that over and over again. My name is Sean Katina. That's Sharif. Back to the desk.
You guys are hilarious, man. You're making me laugh up a storm over here, which is causing me to cough. But yeah, LAC is getting shellacked, boys. Down 22.25%. So as we know, lithium-related stocks have been quite volatile lately after China. The Ministry of Commerce in China announced that foreign suppliers must obtain approval to export certain products that contain rare earth materials. China, for their part, they're kind of annoyed with how the U.S. is exaggerating the new limits on its rare earth exports. That's what China's claiming. They're claiming the U.S. is exaggerating all this, calling it an unnecessary panic. In any event, guys, MP Materials, USAR, the critical minerals players, they're all down. LAC down 22 1/3.
I'm gonna send that clip to my brother because he loves WCW and all these like AEW guys. And so when I tell him that I called you Norman Smiley and that we showed it on the show,
that's my dog.
He's going. No, I know it. He's gonna think it's hilarious. So I just sent that.
Who's Mike's favorite?
Oh no, he just likes all the independents.
He should go. He could dress as Halloween. Not Scott Hall. No, he'd be almost better.
He's my brother here. I don't think
he could do Scott Hall.
I don't think he necessarily looks like any. He looks like an evil Joker here or something like that. I don't know what this guy looks like. But there he is. Man.
Evil Joker.
As you can see, he got the good looks, not me. But anyways, yeah, what's up, Mike?
LAC was okay if you were short. There was maybe 3 times that you could have gone long. I don't think it's a long here. I'm going to get that out of the way. It's at a new low. It did a bottoming. I talked about this one in the lesson of the day, the bottoming tail candle, because it was a pretty good one. But this is now in Nastyville. This broke trend on the daily. So as far as where the bottom might be on LAC, 650, 550, or the 50-period moving average at 450. But I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Like I tried it once and was able to get a little bit of a bottom play on it because it was technical and a lot of things were bouncing at that moment. But I think this one is done for a little bit here. It'll be SSR tomorrow at least, so maybe you get an SSR bounce and you can revisit it. But it's just too much downside currently. All right, so I talked about VWAP here on silver. It's bounced a couple of times off the volume weighted average price. Good early, bad off VWAP during the tank, and now starting to ramp back up. And look, the market's also catching a bit of a bid. So I like things that are at VWAP and holding, which is good, because that means they're relatively strong for sure. But LAC is not one of them. I'm not trying to bottom pick that. Forget it.
I'm not really trying to do anything other than make a little bit of money. And right now, you can see that right here. We just put $2 in our pocket. Like, I don't even know what AMD's on right now, but what it is I'll take 5 of those because, like, this is just an absolute, like, boom. Like, we were big wiggling over there, and then all of a sudden this started to happen. So nice little play there for AMD back up there to the upside. Yeah, so thanks for joining us once again here, everybody, today as we continue to have some good fun. I am out now of 65% of this AMD trade, and I'm about to punch out a little bit more. There it is. Oh, okay, well, I don't know what we just got there. Let me tell you what price we got there. We got 42s, boo. So a little bit of an out there again on advanced micro devices. Let's see if it can hold the day into said close. I like the stock.
Good India news just now.
India news?
U.S. and India have had productive discussions that have led India to already cut Russian oil imports by 50%, according to a White House official.
That's according to Rahim Alani as well. Rahim Alani is the Canadian ambassador.
Yes.
I don't know if it's an economic, I shouldn't quote it, but he's some sort of an ambassador there. Yeah. We can just message him right now and find out, but shout out to Rahim in India. He's been talking a long time about obviously the strength in that economy, and good to see that, you know, President Trump, or that story that you just mentioned there, is coming through for India.
Well, technically it's not from the president, it says White House official. Usually they give you a name, but whatever, productive talks are not bad.
Adara's over there when she hears something about it.
Yeah, like productive talks are not. You're not going to be able to spin
Did
that.
India just buy like everything AMD or what? Like this is a big move up.
Someone just said oil bottom soon.
We can have a look at oil.
Shoot, I don't have what's the current?
It's CLX. CL/X.
I was in my wrong quote board. I have multiple quote boards.
Right here.
Where is oil?
X. You probably don't have it. You probably haven't looked at it in a while.
I do have it on my quote.
Well, you do. Okay. What's
there it is.
X is the symbol. But anyways, yeah. Look, oil, huge move to the downside. I mean, if it's bottoming, I think you're about right. Technically speaking, right on that. Like, I don't. For me personally, I'm not sure where it's going to bottom or anything like
55
that.
55 looks good.
But it looks like, you know, you might be onto something thinking that oil is getting close now. So 55 is the absolute bottom, Neil. But I think we could get into there again. So yeah, watch out for oil making moves, of course. And you know, if we can ever solve Ukraine and Russia and all that, then maybe oil bounces back upside a little bit. I don't know. You know, China being pretty safe right now. Let's see what FXI is doing.
I think the problem is that if there's issues with the Chinese economy, then that just continues to weigh on oil.
Oil is huge for production, right?
Yeah, you just need to get the all clear.
I'm gonna put these back on.
I
got the bandage taken off yesterday. They said everything was all good with the eyes.
Key.
So
that's key.
You're gonna have a couple more weeks of, it's PRK, so a couple more weeks of vision blurriness.
It's what, sir?
Over to Adara.
Something RK, what?
PRK, it's called. I don't even know what it stands for.
Oh, okay.
That's a laser surgery that
I didn't know what it stands for either.
I have no idea.
I have a habit of if I don't know something, I ask. That's
probably a really great habit to have. I would.
Tell it to my wife.
Well, you ask too many questions?
Oh, like she'll say something and it's like, oh, what do you mean by that? Or like what is that? And then she's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, you said it. Like,
I have the opposite problem.
And then I have to think.
My wife is just way smarter than me, so
I'll look it up, and I'm kind of like that way. Anyways, let's go to Adair.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here, with regards to the reasons for the market dropping, I've seen some people ask about a CNBC headline mentioning bad loans, so I do want to get into that. That is from earlier in the day. It's not new, and it's mostly seemed to be impacting regional banks, like, for example, Zions Bancorp and Western Alliance Bancorp. So not the overall market, but I will go over it just to mention this, because I think, again, people do seem to be a bit concerned here. What happened was there are some concerns here about bad loans lurking specifically in the private lending sector just due to the bankruptcy of 2 auto industry related companies this year. Because of those bankruptcy, people are worried that the lending practices might be a bit too loose. And as I mentioned, especially people are concerned about that looseness in the private credit market because it is a bit opaque. So people are wondering if this is going to be another crisis like what we saw in 2007, 2008. But again, this seems to be more of a catalyst, at least directly, for these regional banks. I do want to address it, though, because CNBC had that headline floating around about half an hour ago, even though, again, we've had this catalyst all day. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adair. Appreciate you for that. One thing we didn't do this morning, that I'm going to restart it right now. I know we had great talk with the, we tried a new thing this morning, and we also did a lot of the putting the questions on the board live for you, but we really ignored this. And so if you have any symbols you want us to look at, remember, type $ in the chat, $, then the symbol. So if it's like, I don't know, it could be AMD, it could be Tesla, which we were just talking about. You got to go $ TSLA. But what I'm going to do first is restart it, so we get a fresh look. So $, I'm just going to throw Tesla in there because I said it, and it's the last thing I thought of. So Rigetti, it's SoFi. Oh, forgot to look at SoFi today. Archer, Silver, Dust, IVF. That was just, actually, that just reopened. So we should probably take a look at that. So we'll revisit that and see what it is that you guys are interested in. You're still forgetting the $. Some people. Remember, $. IVF bounced.
Yes.
Halted down, bounced off 130 to get to 150. So that is looking at least okay. And this gives us an idea. Hey, what's moving? Like, have we looked at SoFi today? It's right now #1 on the list as I look up. Can it still stay there? And then it's real time. So I look up and I see it kind of going. SoFi, I love you, SoFi.
Yes,
but
SoFi's so good.
But that's another example of a stock where it quadrupled from the lows earlier this year. Like 4x. Who wouldn't take some profit in front of if it goes up 4x? I don't know.
I mean, but you got to have the bottom.
There's like plenty of people that would probably not. But even if you didn't have the bottom, you still could have, the other consolidation was still like 2.5 times. Like
I mean, yeah, I kind of went the other way on SoFi. I bought more at 25.50, so I averaged up into it. But I just think that this move down on SoFi, to Neil's point, you're already falling down. You're already 20% lower than the high, right? I mean, you're giving up I guess you're 15%. You're giving up, I mean, we're at least 30 as the high, not 30.50. So if you're 30 down to 26, that's $4 on 30. So you're giving up, that 12 to 15% there already. So it's kind of is in correction territory. If this fell back into $24, then you would officially be in bear territory to $24. That's it. So this could go bear territory tomorrow, SoFi, right? And so at some point, you got to think to yourself, like, what is the purpose of this exercise, right? And if it is to, get more shares of good companies when they dip down, then I think that kind of a pullback is worth it. But I mean, I don't know about everybody else right now, but like money. This is why I'm trading AMD. We said already that AMD was, for me, big time trade today. So we're going to put it back on. And we said that as soon as we came back on air. AMD was one of the top questions that we had a question, or one of the top stocks that we had a question about. And I was just like, if it comes back down into 234, I'm buying it. Like, that was stamped here live on the show. So I just want to say, like, I hope some of you have this trade right now. It's $3. We've taken like $12 or something net on AMD today. So if you extrapolate that out, it's a good day. Bottom of the day again, and tops of the day. So we have like top outs here, and then a bunch of bottom picks. So shout out to my good friend Obi, who talked about the sniper abilities. And I mean, I just think that if you're waiting around for prices, look, man, I'm no sniper. My kid is much better camper than I. But like, if you just sit around, believe in yourself and believe in the levels that you've done work on. And I'm not even believing in myself. I'm just believing in the market and in what this can do, right? I've sat around here for long enough to know that what risk management means. And if this goes against me, do you know where my stop was? I mean, I could ask Neil to tell you, but I'll just tell you myself. 233.89. So right here, this is let's say with slippage, a 25 cent worth of risk. Okay. We're now in the money 300 cents. So this is now 10 to 1, but we only have on board right now 25% left. So when it starts to go up into the money, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, I mean, these are trades that you put on and you take them to the bank. So that's exactly what we did there with AMD. I'm going to take another piece out right here at 35. There it is. And now we'll wait to see where we go from here. But that, to me, is what I'm trying to trade, and this is the style that I'm doing. So let's go back over to Adara, and I'm going to put in my earpiece.
Yeah, I want to let you guys know Donald Trump just posted on Truth Social, nothing market related, but it's always worth noting when he's being active on Truth, he is, I guess, encouraging people to vote against this global carbon tax in London tomorrow. So that's happening. Also, guys, he is scheduled to make an announcement at 3 p.m. today. Now, that announcement is speculated and actually reported by the New York Times to likely be about IVF. So keep an eye on these IVF stocks. Those tickers include PGNY and yeah, PGNY is one of them for sure. I also want to let you guys know I'm seeing reports that Apple is preparing its first touch MacBook Pros, which it would include a thinner frame and M6 chip. So keep an eye on AAPL, and as we await that 3 p.m. announcement from Trump, I'll keep you guys posted. Back to you.
Wait, was that Apple just now? Because that explains.
I mean, about a MacBook though, that doesn't make.
There was, I mean. Yeah, I mean
the touchscreen MacBook. Yeah, okay.
Okay, because there was a huge volume spike in Apple.
Does that do anything though? A touchscreen MacBook?
Does it? I don't know.
I think it's enough for people to switch, like upgrade cycle, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have
a MacBook.
Yeah, you always have to be refreshing. It's not bad. I don't think it's huge.
I think the problem with MacBooks is they're just so good that people don't refresh them.
No, it's
and
but I think you have the same issue with the iPads too, though.
And iPads, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't think either of those products drive much for Apple. It's about the phone and it's about services, right? Let's just sort of keep it real. But yeah, Apple not good. This is healthy for Apple. It's not good today. It's among the weaker stocks because it's a pretty good bounce. Someone said, "Why is the market bouncy?" It's yesterday's lows we seem to be bouncing off of. So in the Nasdaq, that'd be 24/7. Hey, that actually, there you go. 24/7 on the ES, whatever that works out to. But really, the Apple comes off of Tuesday's lows and bouncing off 245 here. I think you could say it's technical and then just gets the benefit of that story. But I don't think it necessarily moves the needle. And I would almost argue that Apple maybe could pull back a little bit more. Like 240, maybe a little bit lower than that before it becomes a dip buy again. It's not even that far from the highs, Apple. It's $12, $13 from the high. 5% off the highs, Apple is right now.
5% today?
No, 5% from the high.
Right.
Like that's not even, you're not even remotely panicking.
No, that's the one I'm not selling.
No, like it's not even, and it's not close to a dip buy zone either, I don't think. Juxtapose that with Amazon. Like if you pull up a chart of Amazon and you'll get the idea for sure. Be free, I really hope so. I'm supposed to use the thing, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to read it here. SoFi under 200 by 2026.
Under 200?
I'm assuming you meant 20. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think that's a reason why to trim. And we were talking about SoFi earlier. I'm just eyeballing silver because it seems to be very much rejecting 49 exactly. So it's like VWAP to 49 and lower highs. So the reason I'm eyeballing it is this. Like it's at a decision point. Like the buy spot has been VWAP, and now it's trying to break trend higher, which would allow me to go long at 49 instead of waiting for the volume weighted average price. So it's very close to breaking this top end trend line and maybe getting to the high of the day. I believe we're going back over to Adara. Oh, no,
we got this. Beta Pro by Global X right now. Make sure that you check this out. They are Canada's largest provider of levered, inverse, and inverse levered ETFs. They have just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs, including the 3x bull, similarly to the TQQs, and 3x bear exposure to the TSX 60 and the S&P 500 at semiconductors and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping those management fees to just 65 basis points until the end of the year. This U.S.-focused strategy uses currency hedging, offering a total potential of pure performance and exposure against that U.S. dollar. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, please check out our sponsor, betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn more. The company is Global X. So we want to again, always thank them for their continued sponsorship of the program. All right, so just breaking through 236, we now have under 10% left of, or trading through 237, we now have under 10% left of this trade. So we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But just trying to figure it out with AMD where we're going. So, maybe if we break through the 50-period moving average, because it's just so violent, we might as well get out again. We took about half of a unit. We didn't want to risk too much. We don't really put on too much risk here near the end of the day. But remember, I'm only speaking in units for myself. You guys, I do that so that when if I tell you I have 3 or 4 units on, it's a little different. For that, if you guys are following. So like one contract might be 1 unit. If you're trading options, maybe 100 shares is 1 unit. If you're trading stock or whatever, but that's the talk there. So this was like half of a unit, but still good enough. I'm getting ready to put my order out at a break of this 50-period moving average, 235.88. So we'll go 235.79. I always go a little bit under sort of, the levels that are piquing my interest. So the 50-period moving average is something that I like to look at. We were pretty saved earlier on. It was Micron right here when we got out right there, breaking basically the 50 period at that time, or the 21 period it was. That was one mistake there, breaking the 21 period, but that one saved me as it came back in, and then we averaged back into Micron. Micron still looking at 2 bills. I still think that is a decent level.
It's still the big, it's
Tonight we have IBKR earnings, by the way.
Interactive Brokers is...
Yeah, so that could be something for SoFi
good business
Robinhood.
to be in.
So down I was just going to say like down 1.5% right now, and so you've seen this. Whoa, that's right, they split. But seeing that move there, and then looking at a name like Robinhood, I feel like this is going to be not necessarily a bellwether for Robinhood, but we'll see what they're reporting as well. Both down 1.3% and both suffering from a little bit of a pullback off of their highs. And again, here's Robinhood stock. This didn't split, but you see what I'm saying? Like, this is why I'm getting out of some AMD, some Marvell, some Oracle, all of this kind of stuff. It's not that these are bad names I'm dumping. It's just, it's like this right here, 155 down to 130. So you're losing $25 on 150. So this is already down 13 or 14%. So that's what, 6 or 7 straight down days. If you had got some out near the top, you may feel better, and you could have an opportunity to buy some back in. It's just one of those things, right? Investing is a long-term game.
Yes.
And you got to sometimes think about, if I do think there's going to be a pullback, what stocks are maybe a little overbought, and look at the run and where they've come from. But you don't want to sell all the...
You don't want to get out of everything, because buy and hold is undefeated, especially quality companies in the long run. We know this. 2 things. 1, you can't talk about Robinhood and we can't talk about IBKR without acknowledging, remember the PDT rule is going to get altered.
Right.
That's been approved. And then 23.5 trading comes at some point next year. I looked it up because I didn't know off the top of my head, but there is no firm date. But apparently it could be late 2025 or early 2026 is kind of the window that's being put in for that PDT rule change. Of course, Robinhood benefits from that and all that stuff. And I'm going to see, I can use this instead of just putting the chat in front. I'll use it. I had time to set up. On days like today, when setups happen, but the risk is higher than normal, so is the reward. What would you recommend? Take the trade even though the risk is... Oh, that's right, it cuts it off. Shoot. This is why I don't like it. It cuts it off. I think it said higher than normal was the rest of that.
Probably, I mean...
Yeah, take the trade even though the risk is 2 times normal. So I'm going to give you an exact example of the difference between the morning and then the afternoon when things go crazy. So in the morning, like every time I was taking Micron on dip plays, I was stopping out 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents at the absolute max. And that's on a $200 stock. When the market went into crazy mode, I took the trade in ARM here at 196.50, essentially stopped giving it low of the day, which is why it's like twice as wide to stop because the market was twice as volatile. So I think that that's okay, I can't say for sure that the market was twice as volatile, but you get the point. The way that it was moving in the morning was not as crazy as it was later. So there's only 2 ways you can play that. You can either adjust your risk by taking less shares, which doesn't necessarily solve the problem. It's more that your setups are going to have more fluctuation and variability. So you might just have to have a wider stop. But at the same token, you need to hold it a little bit longer. So instead of scalping out every 50 cents, you might scalp out every $1. Like that's the adjustment. It changes the what's the word? The breadth of the trade. So you hold it a little bit further and you give it a little bit more of a wider stop. And if your system doesn't allow that, then just find a stock in which you can do that. Like that's where maybe like TSLL or something like that is any better. It doesn't really make a difference. It's just adjusting stops is something that you have to do sometimes.
Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this with Wilson Capital over there, and it's just like I gave a perfect. I mean, that's a perfect example there. But we just did it live right now, where I gave 30 cents worth of risk here. So it didn't. It's not. I wouldn't be afraid of share size or anything like that. It's just a matter of trying to take the trade at all times and just understand that volatility is here right now and expect moves like this, you know. And we have numerous plays like this, and I look over and, you know, we're being rewarded for taking risk, right? And look, some days we get smoked when it's like, okay, nope, just keeps on breaking. Like if this market wants to go down there, it could have just kept on going and you take a hit, but you take a 30-cent hit or a 40-cent hit instead of a $5 hit. We'll take $5 winners, not $5 hits. So I just think that you got to make sure that you're well positioned and well thought of. Always have an out before you even have an in, and that's the thing for me. So and you know, obviously it's been really working out for that kind of a trade. And then also like follow your scanners, right? Like if there's anything that's going on, like any sort of a hot list that shows up, like understand that the reason why you're looking at it is for a reason. You know, don't just stand there and be like, I'm not like, why are you looking at this trade rate? Because I want to know which names are hitting right now. You know, like Tesla, NVIDIA, these are, I mean, they're often very similar, but on a day like today, you may want to look at a Rigetti that's down 12%, or a Palantir, or, you know, this KRE, regional banks. Like, what the hell's up with that? You know, we don't normally look there, but now it's on here. So maybe there's an opportunity. Look, a 52-week high print there for GDX going through, right? So there are a lot of opportunities in this market. It's just about trying to find them. And when you do, please try to take advantage of that. And, you know, that's it. Like CoreWeave with news today, right? Neil and I talked about
what was the news again?
It was earlier. Remember it popped earlier? And we thought there was. It's actually on our watch list.
It was. I was surprised that Oracle didn't.
Did Oracle?
Like no, but nobody was asking about Oracle because that had an insane move at 1 o'clock.
Right.
Like this, and this was not. I mean, the market bounced too, but like Oracle went absolutely ham in the middle of the day, and like no other. Because this is another stock that we were sort of talking about in terms of being top, like toppy. Like it already had that crazy move when they rejig their guidance, and then it's like all reliance on OpenAI, and everyone's all concerned about that because every penny of that guidance was all about OpenAI, but it's still holding the top end of that range. But it made a huge move in the middle of the day today. So like it's nothing wrong with ringing the register on Oracle either when it does something like this, because it's 3 lower highs now since earnings that the stock has put in. Like bang, bang, and bang again. So that's a bit of a downward sloping, whatever the heck that's supposed to be called. I know what it means. It means there's sellers every single time it gets above like $310. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, I do want to address there too. There was a catalyst on Oracle intraday, which led to that move in ORCL, and also CoreWeave talking again here about very strong forward guidance well into the future. But the other thing they said that was kind of interesting was that they talked about more than 100% year-over-year growth in their cloud AI infrastructure for Q1 2026. Well, they already reported fiscal Q1 2026, so looks like they might be restating some stuff. Either way, that did lead to the push up here in ORCL, just for some context on that move in case anybody missed it. And that's what led to CoreWeave moving as well. Also, I still have a live stream for Trump's event, which is set to happen at 3 p.m., but it was delayed yesterday as well by about 40 minutes, so I'll let you know if I have any updates.
And yeah, thanks, Adara. That's exactly what we talked about here. I literally got the 319 fill. I offered 319 and grabbed that today in the long-term account, selling Oracle for that exact reason. It just looked like it was top heavy, and you know, we'll see if that is the truth or not. Someone's saying Eli Lilly news in the chat. Let's go have a quick little look. Not really doing anything. You know, NVO was the one that, you know, had some recent news on it and looked like it was breaking out, and I think it was a couple days ago that it looked like it wanted to get going. Yeah, and then it didn't. So yeah, a couple days ago, I guess it was like about a week ago or so, when we were trying to bounce through here and see if there was some sort of support getting back into the 200 period moving average. So this is Novo Nordisk, nice little downside move there. I mean, if you could basically just do something like this and see what's going on right now. I mean, it's like there's the highs. We broke it a little bit there. And then now we're just lining it up into the way down. So this is obviously looking like it wants to get lower as well. So you're going to have to try to base out somewhere here, form this sort of flag, and then wait to see if we get back upside. But right now the pressure on Novo Nordisk, we're looking to hold 54. So if that can hold 54, which would be right into here, that would confirm. Then you get the break higher, and then you hope that power hour can be a profitable hour. But yeah, so Novo Nordisk, oopsies, I got to get off of that, or it's going to keep drawing lines. Novo Nordisk looks a little bit interesting there to me as well. And Eli Lilly might be another one of those names. Now this is actually quite a, you know, like I only own probably 25% in my portfolio of Eli Lilly, similarly to what I own in Google, Meta, NVIDIA, like all of those. Let's just say if I own 10 grand of all of those, I own like 2,500 of Eli Lilly. So I need to get more into this name or more into this space. And that's why I chose, again, I've been recently like putting more money into ETFs because I just feel like they're a little bit safer. So XBI, the biotech space as well, that continues to work out very well as an ETF. So, you know, that's something where I'm not going to sell. Like I'm buying XSP, which is here, XSP is in Toronto. So this is the iShares for the S&P 500. And then I also buy XQQ, which is the iShares for the Nasdaq. So this is what I'm doing with my CAD, is throwing it around.
See,
like
I'm that
this.
way. Never sell your ETFs and your indexes.
Yeah, I don't want to sell.
Only individual stocks.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't sell. I buy the market, but I don't sell the market. I'll sell individual stocks.
I still think we're young enough to hold, you know, a lot of equity instead of index.
Oh, 100%. I told you this story. There was a former Fed, whatever, board member being interviewed. I don't know what his name was, so it doesn't really matter. It's not that important. But the guy was in his 70s and retired. And he was doing an interview, and they asked him about the market. He was talking about Fed-related stuff. Then they asked him about the stock market and what he was in, just kind of casually. And he just listed off like individual stocks and then the SPY. And they're like, do you own any like bonds, fixed income? He's like, no. And this guy's in his 70s. I'm like, if that, and that's probably a little bit extreme, but I think it's not the end of the world, especially if you're in a position where you're very, very secure. I get it, maybe that fluctuations don't matter. And sure, as you get older, you do want to make sure that you probably have a little bit less risk. But there's tax implications as well. But I firmly believe you got to own U.S. equities. And it's just that you're not beating returns over the long run. Like I'm not trying to think I'm that cute.
It's the greatest economy in the world.
That cute, man.
It's the greatest, you know, wealth generator of all time, the stock market, right? And now we're going through another big revolution. Now it's the AI, right? We went through, you know, the computers, we went through factories, the industrial revolution, and now, you know, maybe we're in the right names with Google and Meta and Amazon and all that to hopefully enjoy the next round.
Even like in Eli Lilly, like we're talking about.
I mean, I think they take advantage of AI too.
Yeah,
you saw Caterpillar's recent move up, making their tractors more efficient. Eli Lilly making.
I just think this one's getting a little much. No, but like this, like, come on, man. Like, you're not gonna trim something?
I wonder really what is really underneath.
It's like
that.
really
explosive. It's a big one.
No, like this, like it's 100% a company that is going to have some serious risk if we actually had a real like economic slowdown. Right, like let's be real. Like, but at the same time, like these guys are going to get the real big benefit. Unfortunately, I get it from rebuilding after wars. Like it's, you know, when the rebuilding happens, eventually when, you know, the war in Ukraine is done, you know these guys are going to be making money hand over fist. That's just how it works. It doesn't make it good. It just makes it true. But I think a little risk off makes some sense, at least in a certain sense. But I did want to go back over to, Brian Adams just put it in there. You mean quantum when we're talking about frothy and top heavy? Those are exactly the names. So like those are the ones that unquestionably, like if you didn't sell, I sold some SMR at 50. How could you not? Like these valuations make so little sense that you'd be crazy not to bank some profit in it. I mean, like you know what crazy not to bank at least a little bit of something. Down 13% today, and that's just one day here on Rigetti. Like, if this stock was at $27 next week, how many of you would be surprised? And if it was at 75 next week, how many of you would be surprised? I don't think any of us would be surprised. And if I knew which one, then trust me, you know, I wish I knew which one, but I'm waiting for $41 specifically on this stock to at least look for some kind of a dead cat bounce.
Yeah,
Well, it's not a dead cat bounce, you know what I mean.
Shout out to Central C and Drake. Which one? You know, which one? Okay, so I knew which one, and today I did wind up selling, and I'm just lucky to get that fill right at the beginning of the day at 57 bucks. And all we did yesterday on SMR, and we talked about it before, was look at these highs and put it right there. We went up a couple bucks and got, I actually thought I was at 58, and then got the note today. So again, you know, nice move to the downside here, make back. I said 14% before, it's 7%. It's only $7 on 50, my guy, not the other way around. But oh no, that is 14%. What am I talking about? $7 on 50, yeah. But anyways, nice move there. You know, we did re-enter into Bitcoin today as well. So not re-enter, we did the other thing. We didn't even reload it because we didn't sell anything up top. But if you're going to look right here at crypto, again, this is the US dollar index, first of all. I was taking a look at that earlier as well on the 5-minute chart, just basically hitting the downside here. So as the US dollar gets lower, generally speaking, that should be good for the multinationals, but yeah, not really today. You know, nice move higher there, trying to hold out. Like if we can get lower, you know, a lower US dollar means when they repatriate back in, you know, the euros or the yen or whatever, you know, Apple's selling phones in China, their yuan and everything, or euros if selling it back into London, you get the British pound and whatnot. If it's worth a little bit more when they bring it back, that's also a good sign. But again, weaker US dollar isn't necessarily great overall for the economy, but we'll wait to see if it can hold out. And I know the president always talks about wanting to have a strong dollar. We'll see if oil can play a play in that as well. Okay, because again, USA is supposed to be oil independent, I believe. Okay, so this is why I bought more Bitcoin today. So, you know, the last time I bought Bitcoin was 102, which was right into here. And again, that was based on the same kind of theory, was that we were bouncing around 100, 102 right there. I mean, let's not call Bitcoin, you know, the greatest investment of all time. It might have been if you got it 15, 20 years ago. But right now, like this level that it's at right here, this is where it was last year at this time. So if you hodled, this is why I don't believe all the time in like, I'm just going to hold this thing. Because this is the thing, like I hear Joe talk about getting in and out of some options and trading it on the swing account. I believe that can be good. This is December of 2024. So obviously, if you go to October of 2024, where we are right now, then you're still up quite nicely. But I'm also not cherry picking down here either. So if you just go back and look at like some last levels of support right back into here, you can go back into December and January and February and March of this current year and say, okay, that was 101. Well, right now you're at 108. So you're up about 6% since the beginning of the year here on Bitcoin. Like, is that something? Yeah, it's nice, but parking your money in USDC gets you 4.5%. So I just want to say, like, if crypto,
just stay away from PayPal.
That PayPal story, I still have to don't even understand that. But you know, just understand there's other alternatives out there, and Bitcoin might not be as risky maybe as a lot of people think. I still think there's risk, obviously, in all stocks.
There's way like the leverage in Bitcoin is insane. And the leverage in crypto is insane. It's the weirdest thing where sometimes increased leverage leads to less volatility for a while. And so everyone thinks, oh, it's okay because it's actually leading to less volatility. Well, that's the same mistake that got made in the subprime crisis. And the next time Bitcoin finds that out, and look, I'm a 5% portfolio Bitcoiner, although sometimes a little bit more than that. But what's great about it is same level, different reasons. Like, to me, this has held a very good structure, Bitcoin has, where all the prior support and resistance have turned into great places to buy and sell. Like, I draw the line, you buy in front of it. If you're a trimmer, then you trim in front as well, and then you buy in front. When it now shows me that this is the range we're in, you buy there, and then I'm also willing to buy the second level as well. So if I see 93, I'm probably a buyer down at that price. But I'm thankful because I didn't even realize, and Sean was the one that told me this, I have like Bitcoin in like multiple places, and it's like I want to have it all in like one thing in my TFSA. Now in Canada, IBIT is, you can do IBIT in Canadian dollars, which I didn't know. It must be relatively recent. Well, you don't have to be in purpose, a little bit lower fees. Because that's the thing about the ETFs, right? Like you're still better off holding physical Bitcoin. Let's go over to Adara at the desk.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Woman Boss, because empowered women change the world. And you can help make it happen. The Woman Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. Since 2018, we have reached over 10,000 women and girls. And your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. So scan that QR code on your screen now and join us in building a brighter future. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara. Yeah, obviously support that. We want to thank Woman Boss. All the bosses in my life are women, and in the market, which is probably a woman as well. Yeah, right into here, 237.50. So I just have an offer right here, 237.40. If we do bump back up, we have less than 5% left of this AMD trade. As we had talked about that, we had really emptied our clip when we got up here in this general area, when we were holding about 50% of the trade, and then emptied it out there on the 200 and on VWAP. I'm trying to get better at holding things for bigger moves. As we've discussed, the bigger moves are here, so we want to make sure that we are well involved in all of that, and I believe that we are. So that was a good move there. So here it comes right back up. If it does give me that trade, we're going to take it right there. I'm at 237.40. So this is that sniper attitude again that we have. So we're just going to sit there, hopefully get filled. There's some, okay, now people have joined me. So now we'll hopefully get offered and get hit. There it is. So we'll hit this again for everybody. So that's another $3. We just took that out right there, and now we wait to see what it's going. And again, that's another level that I pointed out before it got to it. So there's my out right there. We get out there at 237.40 as it goes back and forth. I always get questions like these aren't real fills or anything like that. I mean, I'm literally taking them as we're sitting here live on the show and everybody can see it. So let me guess, that just didn't hit 237.40. I don't know. But anyways, we're out right there. Nice trade out of AMD. We still have one small piece left. I might as well have just got out of it all, but you know, we'll wait to see if we get back up to here. Stop is still in place for this, by the way. If it does break, we talked about 236, so that's this level right there. I'm going to now change it. That's 236.50 is the 50-period moving average, so I'm going to change this and put my stop now. It's getting close, right? Like, we just got that out, so let's go 236. What did I say this was? That's 50, yeah, 40s. So 236.24, we'll just go under the quarter. We'll hit off or enter, and now we put it up, we put our hands up in the air because our stop order's in. So if it triggers, and that's that. So we just got out right there. Another piece there at 236.50, 237.40, sorry. And here comes a couple more pennies, and we get stopped out of the final position for us, and then we'll see if we put something else on the rest of the day. But I mean, the Nasdaq is not screaming opportunity to me right now. I would much rather it be at 25,000 up here at VWAP.
I don't think we're going to see 25,000 today.
Nah, not today, right now. What's up, Aura Alpha? Get into Toronto, and potentially I'll let you kiss this lucky head of mine. But right now, no, we're doing pretty good here. And that's the thing about it is, I've been talking about this. We put these trades on every day, so at some point the luck sort of becomes skill, and I think that right now we're in that. We've got that aura, so we're pretty happy with it. And if my kids were here, they'd punch me in the face for saying aura. But yeah, so far so good. Ooh, I just got an email. Blue Rodeo is almost here. I went to a Blue Rodeo concert with my wife a couple of years ago, so that might be where that's coming from. Oh, did you see StubHub, by the way? You were off, of course, but StubHub rallied nicely. Oh, now it's faded back again.
Well, I mean, everything faded.
Got back to $20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, its IPO was still 25.
Oh, what the hell, today?
But then, you look, see, it's like right back into there. So this was going to be, I thought maybe a breakout here on StubHub. I'm still check StubHub all the time for things. But I thought that was a good little breakout. Really? You know, the key to buying tickets to everything is last second. Like, you know, you can probably, like if you're trying to go to the Jays game or something like that, or the Cubs game.
Oh my God, the prices were insane.
Prices were insane, but like you could still sit somewhere low and good if you kind of wait till last second, but ALCS, World Series.
I couldn't go over the weekend for, you know, I wish I could. I really wanted to be there, but I couldn't do it. And people were paying. It was stupidity.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, man. You get some crazy prices.
My wife actually, she asked me, she's like, oh my goodness, the Skydome Hotel has a game-facing room still available. Like 2 days before the
room. Oh yeah.
2 days before the game, and it wasn't even available. And I'm like, yeah, but
wait a minute, it was available or wasn't available?
It was.
Oh, it was.
Sorry, but yeah. And I'm like, okay, but how much is it? It was like 33. It was a 3,300. I think it was US too. So
you get the room, and then you get. But is that from? That's somebody selling it, or that's from Ticketmaster? Like, I don't know.
I think it was someone selling it. That's the thing. The thing about it is, just to save anybody, if you ever come to Toronto, our baseball stadium, it's a big dome, and there's a hotel in the back.
Yes.
And so like there's rooms in the hotel that actually face the field. You can go watch the game. Now I've done it a couple times. As a lifelong fan, I'm gonna simply tell you it's a cool thing to do once. It's a little bit overrated. And so there's just no, like if I'm gonna spend a grip to go to a playoff game, there's a 0% chance I wanna be sitting as far away as possible in that hotel room. And it's not the same experience. You're not high-fiving any fans. You're not feeling the vibe in there and all that stuff. Like when I'm hugging strangers when a home run's getting hit. I'm that dude. So
that's why you're always sick, you know?
It
not that you're always sick.
No, it doesn't help.
Joke.
No, it probably doesn't. You're sitting there literally high-fiving random people.
When you go to, at the Leaf game, I was like looking around, I was like, bang, bang. I was like, okay.
You had that dude when we went to the Bills Patriots where, you know, he got a beverage that was not a good beverage because he's wearing a Patriots jersey, and that guy had to go. That was just weird stuff happens again. But again, I just think it's a little bit overrated.
There was a story you were going to say. It wasn't a bad one. You were saving it for later. I can't remember. What was it? Was it about Amazon? No, there was. You teased it at the beginning.
No, you're right.
You're like, I'll tell you. It was during the rundown. You're like, I'll tell you something later about it. You had already talked to me about it in the midday. I can't remember what it is.
Crap, I know, because we were talking about something in the middle of the day, and it's like, I'll save it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not during the rundown.
Like, let's talk to these guys about it.
Now this is going to bug me.
I don't remember what it is. Okay, woe is me. All right, so let's just go on. Let us know if there's any sort of stocks in the chat that you guys want us to talk about. Remember, tonight we do have IBKR coming through. Join Adair and myself. Just Adair and myself tonight. And tomorrow we'll have another guest, Steve Talman, come through. But right now it's Adair with maybe some news or something like that.
Yeah, please join Sean and myself on the market recap, because it's always a good time. And we do have IBKR earnings for you, and CSX, which is less likely to move, but could still be fun to look at. Anyways, I want to let you guys know I'm now seeing a stream open here for this Trump announcement. It's not the White House stream, it's the Associated Press stream, and there's no footage yet. But either way, it looks like we are preparing to see that announcement come soon. Again, it was scheduled to happen at 3 p.m. Obviously, it's now 16 minutes past 3. But either way, it looks like we could hopefully get this announcement soon. Once I actually get any kind of video feed, I'll keep you posted. But we have a stream open, which is an update. Back to you.
Okay. I see some talk in there about Webull. I mean, we asked to see if there's any stocks you guys want.
It was just green. Oh,
we can easily talk about Webull right here. So, I mean, again, I like this stock. This is another name that I'm trying to dip by as well. We did actually buy some Webull. I think it was last week or something. That's right. All these stocks had such crazy birthdays. Yeah, we had bought some right about here. So we're out of the money now, about $1 on Webull. I think we must have bought, it was last week, so we for sure bought into this level. So it's coming back in time to, again, like put some of that SMR money, put some of that whatever, Oracle money or whatever, into financials. And I actually, not that Webull is like the financial that you all want or anything like that, but I do like the stock, and I do think there's a decent potential here for kind of a moon situation. I don't think we get back to anywhere like this. This is IPO craziness. But, you know, back in breaking some of these levels, all it takes is to simply look at some of our friends like SoFi and Robinhood and what they look like on their early goings, and it did look something similar to this. So, again, if we're going to trade off support and resistance, I think that's a decent call.
I think the day that, or not the day, but whenever that finally breaks away from that 18, like you just pull the chart back up. So I'm not going to flip to it. You know, it's like, ignore the stupidity that's that crazy wick, and just kind of look at it after it settled down. And it's $10 to $11 to that 18 double top. And the longer it holds that range, eventually you break it out and stocks explode. Yeah. That's a momentum play. I don't want to be long 18 when it happens. I'm going to be long still at just under 10 or just above $11. Promise you. So I'm never getting out of all of it, and I'm always reloading in front of this level as long as 10 holds. And then one day, trust me, we're going to look up, and Webull's going to be in the 30s and all that fun stuff. It could be, look, it could be next year. I'm fine with that. But it's no different from SoFi, everybody. Like, how long was SoFi somewhat disappointing? Like, look at how long this stock did absolutely. I mean, that wasn't nothing. It went from $6 to like $10, and then, you know, back down. It just kept going $6 and $7. But eventually, you got the big move. Like, it tripled up, then it pulled back to 8, and now all of a sudden it goes ham. If you like a stock, or if you like a young stock or something like this, and you believe in them, and you like their business, you got that banking chart, like, sometimes you're going to have to sit in it sideways, and it's like, well, if you've been in this for the last year, it's done absolutely nothing for you. Okay, fair enough, but I like it, so I'll be in it. And then you get a bit of a ramp job. So I think that of Webull and We just got a super chat in there, so I'm going to use the thing that we're supposed to and do this. See, I can use it. I'm being good. Like for the entirety of the week, I haven't been using the tool, so I'm having a hard time for it. Prax. That's it. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, Revol Auto. It just says Prax. So like, I don't know what to tell you that's going to be that great. Remember that 170 support? It's just very slowly bleeding away from that 170. Maybe it holds the volume weighted average price. There was a big level here at about 155 earlier. But this seems pretty determined not to absolutely fall over itself. Like it's not doing that. Yeah, sure, it made a top at 200 and it's down 35 bucks from there. But if you put it into perspective, this is really not that bad. So I'm going to give it a couple of days, see if it can hold on to 155. Maybe you'll get some kind of a secondary push. But buying up here, you better really know something about the company if you're buying up here for the long term. But for like some kind of a day trade or a second salvo, now that you've broken that 170, you need to hold somewhere down here, like 155, to take another shot at it. So 40 minutes to go, 30 minutes till the imbalances, and the market once again looking a little bit weak. And I blame, some of the blame I think was Bitcoin breaking that 110. You know, there's other things as well. Back to the low of the day, Bitcoin. And ETH is at 38. We didn't even talk about ETH. ETH lost that 4,000 level, obviously. I mean, how could it not?
I mean, Ethereum, I don't really play that game. That's kind of a
I still have some.
Fugazi for me. Yeah, I still have some of it, but I don't even really look at it. Look, this is why.
Ooh.
I mean, this is what we're doing, right? I mean, you can have whatever opinion you want of the market, but there's the out, right? So we got out at 236.50, saving us $1.50 right now, right? I mean, we just wicked down through 235. So it's like you can have whatever opinion you want of the market, but at the end of the day, if you're going to be on a prop floor like we are right now, and you're trading options or you're doing something daily that's, you know, like, I don't know, 0-day options, I think are only on Fridays anyways, but, you know, this is going to be a big move right there back down if you are trading prop or you have your own accounts. Like, generally speaking, 237.50 or so down to 235, you're like, well, what, 250? I'm not going to exit out of my position, right? But when you have over, whatever, I'm not going to say the amount of shares traded today, but I don't even know how many trades I have on this today. 108 fills on AMD today, and it's just a monster. It's my P&L probably #1 for the month. Just on, like, this one stock today is going to be the most I've made on any individual stock in any given day, and there's all of these fills. So it's just like doing that over and over again gives you all of the opportunity, because this play here, 235 up to 240, that's $5. Even though we have a bunch of outs, you know, then that's another couple of $4 or $5 again, and then you just saw me make that $4 there. So if you just kind of add it all up, it does make a little bit of dollars. Maybe might not make sense, but it does make some dollars. So that's a good one there as well. And in this crypto move down, nothing wrong with looking at a Coinbase. I'm actually going to call up a Hut 8 as well. Hut 8 has that Eric Jackson behind it. So there's the move there, 390. Right, and again, like maybe the play is to buy Coinbase and not buy any Bitcoin or buy any of that. Just buy the picks and shovels here. Let's see, COIN Coinbase. Okay, that didn't work. COIN right there, Coinbase. Now let's go see. I just want to see Wednesday report. So 2 weeks from today on the spooky, is there 31 days in October or just 30? Halloween day.
Yeah, 31.
Yeah, okay, so day before. PE right now 40s and 50s there for our good friend here at Coinbase. So we'll have to wait to see if that holds. You know, looking at another name, I was actually talking with a trader before today as well, actually just today, and he was mentioning about Circle as a potential opportunity. So I actually want to look at Circle right now, because these guys are the USDC. Oopsies, that's the wrong one. SCRCLE. There it is right there. Circle Internet Group. Very interesting name. Not on Blue Ocean. Interesting that it's actually traded on Blue Ocean, to be honest with you. He was saying he likes this one. He's talking about it kind of like, almost like the railroad. Like, you're using USDC here. It's on most exchanges, has USDC. People will convert their money from crypto, from Bitcoin or any of those other coins into USDC to sit on exchange. So potentially there is some use cases here for this. So I'd like to see maybe one more report before we get involved in this. They just came to market in June, and it's coming right back into IPO prices again. So this is another thing, like Circle gave you outs right here. That's 234, like it's at 120. Man, this stock is chopped in half, not even from their IPO, just from like, I guess a couple months ago. Like, so there's some opportunities.
I like those when they, like it's shown a bit of a base,
bullish?
But it's almost it's almost forming a base where it gets a 50 period,
right.
It then holds a base and then holds the 50 period, and then like, oh, now it's got some structure that I like. Because everything else, when you don't have enough reports, you don't really know enough about the fundamentals of the company unless you've really done a good deep dive. But I think that one is getting close. Because we were literally talking about the whole getting in and out, going in and out, and stablecoins being the way and being the path. Like this is why PayPal and everyone's getting their own, because they want you to stay in the ecosystem. Obviously PayPal, I'm only using that as an example because they screwed up last night and minted 300 trillion or whatever the ridiculous number it was that they corrected. But so there's obviously going to be some risk, but like I've dabbled from now and then. Like if I'm in my Coinbase account, like I'll go into USDC if I'm like, I'm selling a little bit of, I have a little bit of like Doge and some other nonsense and some ETH and some Solana. And when I want to sell it, but I don't want to go into anything else, well, that's what you park it in. And then it eventually ends up in Bitcoin for me, because that's just how I roll. Like I kind of treat Bitcoin as that a lot of times. Speaking of which, Bitcoin's IBIT is triple bottoming. Sometimes people get at us for saying Bitcoin if we're not trading Bitcoin, because we're not. I can call it up for you, but a triple bottom here, and I'll give you the number is, oh shoot, I lost my Binance one. What are we at right now? There it is.
1079.
1079. Yeah, I went over to ETH and lost it. So 1079, so around 108, but it's a triple bottom on IBIT. I'm gonna take a shot at that triple bottom, and if it breaks the low, then I'm gonna jump out of it, just to look for a little bit of a scalp trade before we get the end of the day. We got 40 minutes, 35 minutes until the close. Maybe only one or two more salvos. I'm not seeing any small cappers that are going ham on my, like usually I'll pull up like this, the trade rate. I know Sean looks at it too. And you're able to snag something in here that's like some small capper or smaller company name that's running on a day where the market's weak. I'm not seeing any of that here. Like Rigetti shows up, but trust me, if you look at Rigetti, you're not gonna think bullish today. So there's really nothing going. That IVF that was going crazy earlier, kind of slowed down a little bit. So, just trying to find something which has like an easy structure and a decent risk to reward on Bitcoin. I traded a couple times today, like grabbed the bottom here, that one didn't work, and then we grabbed the bottom. But this was that VIX, like the VIX top bottom. Like when the VIX topped out, that was the real good level that you wanted to grab. So stocks that get back to that level, I think could be worth it. I'm trying to snag some Bitcoin here.
Yeah, I mean, I bought some here.
Walt Winchell. Any relation to Mike Winchell? Friday Night Lights?
Sam Walton?
Is it a good time to buy Rigetti 2x short? Like, would I go short Rigetti is what you're getting at? I don't know. I'm never a fan of shorting the low of the day at the end of the day when a stock is SSR. It's down 15% today, and it's at a triple bottom. I'm not saying I'd go long, but yeah, I don't know. If you're meaning like swing short, I don't know, where's your out going to be if you swing short this thing? I never swing short anything. I do think it's on the back end of the trade, but if I think it's back end because of this, then I would have put it on like here, like Luis was talking about. Like shorting this end bottom, to me, you're giving it back to like 57. So that's $10 worth of risk. You think you're risking over 20%. I need to be really convicted that this is falling apart completely. So my answer is I wouldn't, because I don't necessarily like the risk to reward in here. And if it's a day trade you're talking about, I don't like shorting that triple bottom right when it's at the low of the day. If I think there's potential support at 41, that's $6 away, and the big resistance is like $10 away. I don't really like that setup.
All right. I just got a spam message from Cash Patel saying my compensation is ready. Well, that's nice. Thanks, Cash.
What up, Cash?
I don't know if he does not realize I'm not a U.S. citizen or not.
They never do.
But they never do. So shout out to Cash Patel. Yeah, just send it over here. Just super chat it.
I got so many during the election of Just like random.
Oh, my spam right now is getting loaded with
it's
like
insane.
Republican this or Democratic
Yeah,
that.
like I'm Canadian. Why am I getting this? Like, how?
Here it goes right here. I just got one right now. Is Jay Jones too soft to debate Attorney General Myers tonight?
Yes? I don't know. I don't know.
There you go, right into my Trader TV Live trash email. Okay. Oh, what I want to look at too, the reason why I went to Coinbase was Eric Jackson here. Let's just go, okay, so now we're below 50. I wanted to see sort of what HUD 8 was up to here today, and you can see it is a nice downside play, down 8% right there. So this is another name where he talked about this as being an AI infrastructure play moving forward. Oh, so if you believe in that, that just sort of tweet came out the other day where he had picked up a spot there, and now we'll wait to see if HUD 8 can explode to the upside there, like what is predicting. So we'll wait to see, but nice downside play there for HUD 8 as that continues. The other
I remember this story, and it's not stock related.
Okay, the other play was Open Door. Open Door right now obviously down today and just getting hit right now at the day's low. The market's not at the day's low, but the Nasdaq's still not having a great time. Actually, some of the money that I've returned, I want to buy the Nasdaq down 5% from highs, so I'm going to figure out when that is, and then put more money in when it's down 10% from highs. I still think that happens this quarter. I think you get another flush coming with earnings season just around the corner. I do not. The very first time you hear CapEx reducing CapEx, this market is dead. I just said we could pull back 40%. So I hope not, but I was looking at the chart. I think that's a possibility. But Open Door right here, $7, looking for something on Open Door. So it's not gonna happen today, it's 331, but this could be a tomorrow thing that watch out for like an instant, like if we open up tomorrow down near below 7, look for an instant flush into this 6 area, and then I'm starting to buy it. So I think tomorrow you could see 6 potentially here on Open Door, especially if we open up under 7, because that's the break right here in the fill. And then we look for our next area, like, so maybe $5.50 to $6 right into here, I think is where Open Door is a buy for the next stage. I would not necessarily buy it at the 50 period, because once this flushes, then I think you do get a nice move down. Remember, we just pulled 50 cents right now in an hour. So we can easily pull 50 cents right here on this 7 break, get back to 650. Then I think we start to buy in this area Open Door if you do like it. I mean, it's the same, shout out to my brigade as well, as Big Bear AI is having itself a whoopsie day as well. And I don't feel any kind of ways about this kind of a move, because we've already talked about where we got out, man. 650, 750, 850, we did it again. So outs there, we only now have, I think we have 40 to, I'll double check, 40 or 60%. I think we're holding 40% for that move. Got out 20, 40, 80, 20, 40, 60 on the way back up. And now we didn't do it the second time. The first time we missed 850, so we got it right there again. So we're still holding from this initial move down. We did not buy this dip. So Big Bear AI, I think it was November. I'm gonna throw it back to Neil in a second. I just want to see here. BBI, I think was it late November or early November where their earnings date is. So I go to calendar. I just did this yesterday, so I can't believe I can't remember this. There it is, unconfirmed. Yeah, okay, early. So November the 4th for BBAI.
Is it SSR? That's a good SSR stock.
Probably. It's down 10 right now.
I remember I just remember a day where it was SSR, and then there was a really, really good bounce play. Oh, it was this day. Whatever, August 11th, and then
crazy headache again.
Like it was good. Like it was a really, really good. When I say SSR, it's down. It hit 10% today, right? It's 9.9%. I'm going to assume this is not the low of the day. Oh, it is. So it's not. The second this ticks 10% down, the uptick rule goes into effect, and it stays tomorrow. So then tomorrow, in order to go short hitting the bid, the last print has to be green, which sometimes makes relief rallies better. It's not automatic that it's a good long, because sometimes people say, oh, this stock is down 10%, you're going to buy it, right? I'm like, no, you still have to actually find a long setup. Something like the pre-market low hitting, or like an even dollar level holding and then bouncing off that. But I just look for that kind of a setup and ride it to VWAP. And it worked. I remember it working really well on BBAI at one point. Okay. I think it might have been the 11th. I'm looking at the chart. I'd have to go back and check. But yeah, that could be a nice one for sure tomorrow. So right now, just really looking at IBIT. Let us know what else you might be looking at. We didn't get to that super chat. Apologies.
Which one?
You know what? I just see it here. Yeah, I'm not going to use the thing because that's going to take me too long. On the rail, not sure why people. Okay, thank you. Not sure why people panic on days like this. it could be an opportunity. Remember what Warren Buffett said, buy the fear. I'm long on SoFi and AAL. I tend to agree with you. I mean,
I very much agree.
The thing is, we're only down 0.8%. Like that day in March, when I mean, things were getting destroyed, or like Liberation Day, when people were talking about limit down on the futures. Like those are the days I'm buying. You couldn't even get, I told you, you could not get Apple at the open as a prop trader. It was you need to use a market order. Like even my regular aggressive limit order did not fill breaking out 200 at the open. Like you get filled 10 times out of 10, and you couldn't buy jack because the programs, there was nobody on the offer. It was like absolute panic to get back in after the sell-off. But people were talking about limit down on the futures, which is 7% that morning. We're down 0.8. So this doesn't qualify as panic to me. That's why I'm not sitting there with a laundry list of things to buy. I think this is just maybe the start of a move. And if we get a capitulation day, yeah, I'm a buyer on days like that. And I'll make the adjustment next time.
I mean, there already is blood in the streets. Like right now, Bitcoin's down 15% from its highs. I mean, have you guys seen the banks today? They're getting absolutely sloshed. They're getting crushed right now. Look at this. Whoops. There goes JP Morgan, now 297. How does this feel? Like, boom, to the downside. I'm in this name. You know, boom, like that's not great. I'm not going to sell today because we already did sell some up here. This is what we're talking about. And I mean, and selling SMR 15% ago, I don't think is panicking. I mean, 15% in one day, we'll sell that and regroup. That is for sure. But we have to make sure that everybody scans that QR code right there in front of you. And it is going to be for eSignal. So scan that QR code, get involved with eSignal today. I think it's the best platform out there. So get involved. You can trade smarter, capitalize on their scanners that they have, instant trading with connections over 50 plus brokers. So get your broker account hooked up right now with eSignal as well. Download it. It's completely free. By scanning that, you will get 1 month free. They have back testing. It's all in one platform. So if you do scan that link there, it should take you, get that, see what eSignal is doing for you. Over 500 symbols, the back testing, you know, Neil and I always going back, looking at, you know, daily, monthly charts and all that. You can also obviously, similar to other programs as well, but program in your indicators and all of that. And then there's a huge knowledge base of what other traders have been using eSignal for. So, you know, get involved with them and scan that QR code and make sure that, you know, you do have trustworthy charting software. And I think actually the biggest thing that I didn't even discuss there was the fact that you can entitle many different markets. So whether or not you're trading on TradingView or I don't know what else.
I'll show it off in a second.
Trade ideas or something like that. You can grab like any exchange. So if you want to grab, you know, the Indian market there, the Nifty 50, you want to grab the yen and look at what stocks you're doing, especially if you're trading in Blue Ocean overnight. You may also want to have real-time charting for whatever stocks you're moving there in Asia, right? So you can do that with eSignal. I like it, and you know, well worth the investment there, eSignal. It's a little more expensive, but if you're trading with a lot of capital and a lot of money, you want to have reliable charts.
Well, look at, and one thing that I've done with eSignal is wherever possible, when there's a big IPO, have a 5-second chart up of it, just to see like the liquidity and understand it. Because that IPO today, which we said we're not taking, by the way, that SEV something, there it says right there, Aptera Motors. Look at this is a 5-second chart. You think a 5-second chart should have gaps in it like this? Like it halts a million times, but even the points at which it's open, there's like big time like liquidity gaps all over the place and like insane wicks while it's open. Like who has a 5-second chart with this kind of a body and that kind of a dollar wick and the entire body is like probably 5-10 cents? Like that's insanity. Like the lightning fast selling that's happening on even the slightest bounce in there, good luck if you're trapped long is my whole point. And so sometimes, and I've used these when we'll trade like Figma or whatever, to be able to find spots, to be able to just quickly get out. It's like I'll have this chart up when I get the opening print, and I'm watching the 5-second chart to look for my exit points when I'm scalping out of it. And that's another advantage over there at eSignal. And I'm sure you can get 5-second charts other places too, but you're always looking for new tools that can help you out on whatever your trade might be. Let's go back over to the desk with Adair. 10 minutes till the imbalances and the end of the day.
I want to remind you guys, please check out on X at TTV Research our implied earnings moves for tonight after the bell and for tomorrow morning. And again, these names that are reporting tonight, IBKR and CSX, guess what? You don't have to process those earnings alone. Why? Because Sean and I will take you through those reports on the Market Recap Show, the Trader TV Live Market Recap Show. So stay with us, guys, after the bell, and we'll give you guys all of that earnings coverage that you need. Now, I also want to let you know, we have a bit of an update here on the Trump announcement. It hasn't started yet, and the video is not live, but there is at least a live feed on the White House YouTube. Now, there's no video for it, but the video stream link itself is open. It says they'll begin shortly. That's of about 5 minutes ago. So again, hopefully we'll get this Trump news soon. I will keep you posted, and back to you.
I'm gonna put some lube in my eye.
Oh, the eye drops?
Yeah, don't look over to Neil because I don't want to gross anybody.
No, it's all, yeah, it's all, I've said it before, like it's not that I'm grossed out by it, but I can't do eye drops for whatever reason. It's just a weird thing. Everyone has their little finicky things. So both my parents have to, but just nothing too crazy happened. Got into that eye bit.
Lube it up.
It kind of held the low. And the stop was under just barely under that 10, and then it gets up to 30, so it kind of just goes to 1-to-1 and no real follow through on IBIT.
Change
with only about 10 minutes till the imbalances. The early looks have Pfizer for $2 million to the sell. That's kind of random. Woo, $1.3 million to the buy side. Nike, $850K. IonQ, that's not insignificant. $700,000 to sell on IonQ as an early look, but none of the big names will be there till 350. Like, all that matters is, when the Nasdaq names get their imbalances. We had $4 million to sell, I think, on NVIDIA yesterday was the imbalance. So you got to be careful for that. But
there's a stock here, IVF.
What's with the?
They've changed their company symbol apparently.
Is that real, or do we just do that?
No, of course that's not real.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude, Neil. Don't be rude. Yeah, there it is right there. So this is what people want us to look at right here. So there's Mr. Donald Trump today on that kind of a news, shooting the stock up 146%. Thanks, Fabian. If I zoom in, does it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it gets a little bit. You can see. It actually flashes. There it is. Oh, every time I put little dancing President Trump face right there. Okay, let's get back there. Set that. Let's look at IVF just real quickly. Thanks, Fabian. That was pretty funny. All right, IVF. It's funny because it's. I feel like I maybe should have got out more there of JP Morgan near some of those highs. All righty then, a quick little look here. So up 148% today, IVF. It hasn't came back into the 200 period moving average. You can see here, this 50 period, it broke there, and then when it did, I don't know where the 50 period was at this point, but that did create a nice move to the downside. It respected VWAP early. I mean, obviously a lot of movers and shakers that do move and shake will watch out for VWAP because they're trying to find a base, but yeah, right now, this looks like $2. I'd say look at this for tomorrow, IVF on a $2 break right now. So we've been up here before on the name. This looks like a reverse split to me. What is that? 89 cents up to 280. Oh, maybe not. Unless it was a 5-for-1. I don't know. The stocks don't normally do that. But there's a move down, and maybe just to get above $1. So they might have diluted some shares. But either way, look what happens, man. Up, down, up on this news. If you could have one more guess, I'd say there could be another leg higher here into $2 to $3. Give this another 100% tomorrow, and then wait for the fade back down again on that kind of a news. So without not knowing too much about this name itself, we've seen names like LAC and other names continue upside, but also fade out, right? I mean, you're waiting for that next sort of news story, and when you don't get it, and you get some negativity back in, this is kind of what happens, right? Like we had a nice move up, continuation, filled the gap all the way back in, then another blast higher, filled that gap back to the last blast, and now we wait to see where the downside move is. Lots of names like USAR as well getting hit today. As some of these frothier names that really don't have any earnings, but do have, presidential sort of backing, they're going to get hit until the next tweet. So, I don't even want to look at, what was that, Coot? What was the name that you were trading yesterday? Some of these, you're trading this at $4, Neil. This is $2 now.
When they lose VWAP.
This is only one day, though. Like, this is what I mean. Like, boom, goes the dynamite, and then right back down again, right? And so this is the after hours, which no one could really take advantage of. And then that's the move up, like as if this thing goes to $5, and then wash straight down. So just be careful with all this. Like, You know, part of the froth in the market is coming out, and I think with the Nasdaq only being down 0.6 right now, the S&P is probably getting killed. Yeah, 0.91. I mean, regional banks, man, KRE, like this is an ETF down 6% today that we haven't even talked about. Yeah. Look at this name here. Here, look at, and again, I think in the fact that we haven't done any work.
When that shoe drops, it drops. It's just.
Yeah, look at the financials today. They're getting absolutely destroyed. Bank of America down 4%. WFC, thanks for going up 7 on your earnings day, but you're giving half that back right now. Morgan down 2. BlackRock, Blackstone, JP Morgan, Berkshire, my guy. What's going on, Warren? Citigroup down 4%. Citigroup's chart looks nasty. So does.
And they all beat, remember, they all beat.
Right.
They all had great numbers.
So this is what I'm worried about. Like, what about when Amazon does not beat or Microsoft? All right, okay, that was sounding very, very exciting there. Adara's got breaking news. Nothing's going in my ear, but we got Adara over there.
Guys, yeah, GitLab is certainly going to the upside and Datadog is going to the downside. Now, why is this the case? Because we're seeing a report here from Street Insider suggesting that Datadog is going to be exploring a fresh takeover bid for GitLab. So it looks like they maybe haven't placed a bid yet, but they are exploring this takeover potential here. GCLB pushing higher on a report that, again, Datadog could consider taking them over. Now, I'll show you guys DDOG because DDOG, a fairly recent S&P 500 entrant, is pushing lower on this news. Back to you.
The second you said Datadog is considering, I'm like, oh man, Datadog's gonna get smoked on that headline. That's already down 3%. If you're at the top and you're talking about making a big acquisition in this market when the market's getting top heavy, you're probably gonna get even if it's a good acquisition, and there's probably some synergies out there. I'm just sort of saying in a general sense, it can bleed the stock for a little bit.
Sorry guys, just want to tell you, Trump just started speaking, and we know reportedly this is going to be IVF related. New York Times suggested it could have something to do with that. That's why some of these stocks are moving. I'll keep an eye on this. I'm watching the video, and I'll let you know. He just said IVF, guys, so I'll keep you posted.
And that's why you have the graphic.
All right, well, let's go have a quick little look there. IVF. Just to see if there's anything. Okay, well, I mean, how perfect is the talk that we just had? We just talked about how these stocks need the president to say something for it to do something. And I mean, there it goes right now. So on some talk, let's just see where it goes. I mean, breaking through $2 again right now. I do want to check this out. We're always showing this Benzing up here until we get a better solution. I don't know what to do. IVF right now. Let's just go into here, select OK on this one, and then just see what the short looks like here for IVF. Again, I'm not seeing anything in this name. 4 million shares, that's it. Short float not existent right here, so I just don't feel like it's accurate, but wow.
Well, they can soak it up, though. That's the thing.
Well, it just lost 30%.
But like if the shares are only 4 million, it's so small.
Look at this thing.
A single prop trader could soak the entire float. Not that they would, but you could. That's how small it is. That's not a very large account. Like when I say soak the float, the terminology is, and I'm not saying everybody does this, but it does happen. Let's say you want a stock to go, you accumulate a ridiculously large position, like a firm might do it, and so if there's only 4 million shares available, they get a couple million. There's already going to be a bunch of insiders that hold it, so the available shares are really tiny, and when it starts going, there's nowhere, if there's no one's letting them borrow, because you're not going to let them borrow when you soak it, and there's just not, when people get caught short, there's not going to be any liquidity, and you get these explosions. So it's easy to do on stocks like this, and I'm not saying it's getting done, but in the case, that's why lower float names don't need to have a high percentage short float, because implicitly they can squeeze when someone just soaks it up, and there's nothing available, and they get a positive story like this. So when you're scanning through gappers, and you're like, oh, I don't like gappers if they have double-digit short float, well, you might want to make an exception for names that have an unbelievably low share float in general, because like, it's done 170 million. The fact it's got a low float doesn't matter here for liquidity purposes, but it absolutely matters in terms of people actually trying to be able to get it. Now, to me, if you're getting squeezed still on this stock when it's done 170 million, then you stink and you're just not covering because it's turned over so many times. But it's just something that you want to keep in mind. Only 1 minute to go to the imbalances. Man, IBIT doesn't want to go more than like 10 pennies up here, so I'm just going to jump out of it. It's not really bouncing the way that it did before off of this level, and we're about to get the imbalances coming out. Not much is going to be in here. Like I said, it was Pfizer. Now Key all of a sudden is going to be 2 million to the buy side, and keep in mind the president's talking as well. And when the president is talking, like that's the thing that's going to move it. So I said I'll just get out for the small win on IBIT. The story today like before we get to the imbalances, like I said, we have 1 minute to go. To me, a lot of the story has to do with the way we've been selling off. Like we'll catch a bid in the morning and then have a harsh sell-off. Well, that's a good bottom and you bounce. And you had the same thing yesterday. Tank, make a distinct bottom, and catch at least a decent bounce. Something is very different today. Today, we made the bottom, and on a 60-minute chart, where's the green candles? There aren't any. Like they're all still bottoming tail, red candles, and a lot of weakness. So just a little bit different what's happening relative to the other days. And we sort of said this in the morning. Yeah, we like some longs, but it's one thing to like the longs in the morning. If 2 days in a row you see massive sell-offs at some point, you better bank your profit because the market's been falling all over itself whenever it seems to lose the bid. And then we just trend for a while. So look for those spots to reverse. Look for those places to get out. So there come the imbalances, nothing too crazy. We expected key. NVIDIA is actually a buy imbalance of 2.4 million. NVTS, Navitas, 1.5 million to sell on Navitas. Apple, 1.2 million to buy. Amazon, 1 million to the buy side. Overall, this means the market's probably at least $1 billion to the buy side if NVIDIA, Apple, and Amazon are on there. But NVTS, that's not a bad imbalance. Navitas, 1.5 million to sell. I would think, kind of moved. Not as much as you'd expect. The market's 2.16 billion to the buy side for the overall market, Adara.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here, Donald Trump, U.S. president, talking about how fertility prices are going to drop sharply. Here is PGNY, Progeny. This is one of those stocks that's been moving on the IVF-related catalyst. So again, Trump is saying that they want to make it easier for Americans to have babies. They're going to be lowering the prices of IVF using the most favored nations policy. So it's very similar to the deal that he made with Pfizer, the deals that with AstraZeneca. They're going to be trying to lower prices here for this type of drug. And back to you.
And GitLab just continues to look strong on the speculation. The Datadog, that's right, it was Datadog speculation. Now $49. We used to make fun of GitLab a little bit. And it's just one of those stocks that didn't perform very well. But it's stabilized and made a bit of a bottom. The caveat we should always say, if there's ever deal speculation without a firm, hey, this is the price, we're being bought at this price, X shares or X dollars, whatever the combination might be, and accepted by the board. If it doesn't have all that, it's all guesswork. There could be a deal if it happens at 60. There could be a deal if it happens at 46 and everything in between. It's only 13%. Premiums have generally been better than this, so I think you can lean a little bit bullish. But I felt the last time there was something like this, I felt a little bit better about saying, hey, I think this one is an okay buy, because that was Papa John's. Because the way I looked at it, when Papa John's got deal speculation, the chart kind of looked a little better in the first place. That's the difference. So I don't necessarily feel the same way about GitLab, because it's like, well, what if a deal doesn't happen? It could go right back there. But I felt like Papa John's was just a better looking chart at the moment. And the deal, it was bouncing off of support, putting in higher lows, as opposed to just being at the absolute bottom. And this deal, it was just a rumor. Papa John's still hasn't agreed whether they want to go public for go private for $64 from Apollo, and it's trading like well underneath the offer. Who knows? Maybe they should take it. Like it's 20% from here that you could just grab if they took that deal.
Wait till deals are firmed up there. EA Sports, of course, the current deal that's going on. NVIDIA, just notice here today, strength, right? Up 1% into a negative 1% S&P, in the negative 0.5% Nasdaq. We really like that AMD, NVIDIA possibility there as well. And just opposed to AMD, which is down 2% today. And we're not reloading anything right now as this comes back into 234. I have no more orders out there today. I'm going to join Adair and myself. We have IBKR tonight, so those earnings should be interesting. And with the banks coming through as a pretty good, obviously this is not going to be a bank, but we'll wait to see what happens here with this brokerage and see where we go with IBKR. We saw SCHW there. I don't have a big position in this, but I do want to build something up in Charles Schwab. I like what they're doing. They're only down 0.74. They did start pretty hot today, up to $98, but now breaking back into this level, almost at a buy zone for me on Schwab. probably get out some money maybe in JP and put some into Schwab, but something to talk about there. I am off tomorrow. It's my daughter's in another tournament, so all my vacation days are surrounding my kids, so we'll do that. We'll be Neil and Obi there tomorrow, so that should be a great show, and then obviously the midday guys will be here as well. But yeah, there goes Charles Schwab, just another look there, so if there's anything about that. And then CSX. We get in here today, so we're gonna have to wait to see $36. That seems low to me, but let me see what's going on with CSX. Oh no, okay, I guess it did have a dip down, and actually that's pretty high. What am I talking about? So CSX right now potentially breaking out right now on, you know, report tonight. We have GitLab, we have Datadog is the most recent story. Oh yeah, 30. Okay, so CSX is at a inroads.
That's a
there.
pretty big level.
Yeah, coming up to $37 for CSX. So. All right, news with Neil.
Not necessarily news you don't know, because you should know by now that instead of risking your own money, you can now trade with someone else's capital. No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss too soon, and you can actually get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits, not just a couple hundo a month. The revolution is called limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. So how it works is join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of the profits. You can check out and visit tradethepool.com, or simply scan the QR code you see right in front of you on the screen, grab 10% off. I missed them, but I want to shout out to Mitch and the team that came by. And I know, I'm sure you guys had a little fun. They left us some swag. Unfortunately, I had to miss it on Monday. But we were talking. There was a conversation earlier about like the advantages of prop. When you're trading someone else's money, it's easier to just sort of prop four, you get a shutdown in a day. Like you pass it, you have to stop. You have to stop trading. It forces you. But when you're retail trading, I'd argue that's a little bit harder because you have to set your own limits. And ultimately, there is an advantage to like a process that sets the limit for you, because then it's easy to, you know, the target. You know you can't hit that line or you can't trade anymore. So shout out to everyone that's successful as a retail trader. Prop is fantastic. 55 hit before we go back to Adara, just so you know that all of those buy and balances paired off. So NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon, they all paired. They weren't huge, but they all did just pair off. Adara?
Oh, sorry. Keep an eye here on PGNY. Progeny, all these IVF names on the move as Trump announces that they're going to make it, quote unquote, legal for insurers to provide coverage for fertility treatments. So again, Trump saying that the U.S. is going to make it legal, his wording, for insurers to provide coverage for fertility treatments. He also said that they're going to have the IVF per cycle cost drop by 73%. Back to you.
Okay, well, there you go. So we can check out with IVF. That's probably moving around again right now. Oh, wow. Holy sh!
That is losing the bid.
And, you know, it's so like...
That's nasty.
Timing, I don't know what you call it, not topical, but we had just talked about this stock and saying that, you know, you're going to have to wait to see if there's any more news coming through, because it's obviously moved on today's headlines, and now Trump takes the podium, starts talking about pricing, and obviously they don't like that, as if prices are going to come down, it can't be good for this company. I don't even know, I guess these guys provide the drugs, I don't know, but if insurance, to me, the minute insurance gets involved, it should be okay for these companies, but I don't know, but anyways, down to $1.40. This name is still up 100% today, but just goes to show, take some profit sometimes on stock when you get it, and we had talked about doing that today on a few things. It's nice to see that Bitcoin stabilizing at 108. I mean, that's going to be a key level there, and I will discuss that on the after show as well. But yeah, Bitcoin dancing. I bought some. So again, today, sold SMR 57, one of the luckiest fills I've ever gotten for sure. So that comes out right there, but we put that order in. We talked about that 2 days ago, so we're pretty happy that got filled there today. Now we can take a 20% dip. Like, isn't that just crazy that we sell that 50% and then it's down 20% from the open? They're just showing 10%. That's because of where we closed yesterday. But we closed yesterday at 54, opened today at 57. So now you're all the way to the downside. So that is really bleeding, man, down there. If I like the stock, I could buy it back today for a nice little discount. Maybe we'll do that. But for me, SMR back down here around 42, 43 is the buys. And that's why we sold some of that. We sold some Oracle today as well at 319. So that's looking good. These could all be dog, you know, whatever tomorrow. Like this tomorrow could open up at 320 easily. and then all of a sudden that sell don't look so good. So we do have some comments in the chat about that, right?
It always says Oracle's not opening up at 320 tomorrow.
No, I hope not, because then I'll feel bad. But so it's very, very easily that it could, right?
I don't think you will.
One deal, one way or the other. No, I'll never feel bad about getting out.
I know.
At the end of the day, that's that.
And guess what went green again?
You know what else? What about the market went green?
Oh, Webull went green again.
Oh, Webull. I wanted to check Walmart. 110 was the high. Now 106.
Get it, Webull.
Okay, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to give a few.
Oh, shoot, it's 1 minute left.
Have a good weekend.
Hopefully
the Jays win.
Say good luck to Gia.
Yes, I will, yeah.
Oh, goodness, please. I'm praying for the Blue Jays tonight because Max Scherzer.
You can't go down 3-1.
No, you can't, and we don't have our best starter out there, so the bats are going to have to get on it.
Bosman can go game 7.
You
mean just tonight? Yeah.
No, I mean tonight. Like, I just sort of, when you're not confident in the pitcher at the end of the day in baseball, like, they have so much control, you know. We'll see. I'm really hopeful for it. But with 40 seconds to go here, everybody, someone just asked, what is the news on GitLab? That's a great place to go. Shout out to Adair for bringing this news to us. Speculation that potentially, and this is just rumor for now, that Datadog could be interested in purchasing GitLab. Right? So that would be the news. There's no firm deal in place. This is very similar to when Apollo approaches, let's say, Papa John's, and is interested in picking them up. Although eventually there was an actual offer that came up there. There is not an official offer here. The closing bell brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX. Check them out, and we'll ring it in 2 and 1. And your market's closed. It seems a heck of a lot worse than it really was. Because at the end of the day, the Nasdaq is down 0.3%. The ES is down 0.6%. Ultimately, if you're in things like Rigetti, down 15 points, or there's a host of names that are a little bit worse. Obviously, if you ran further, then you get beat up a little bit more. But if you're in, say a name like an Apple, down 0.7%, closes above VWAP. But what was different, and I've said it a few times, is we've sold off at some point in the late morning or early afternoon, 3 days in a row. This was the day that we didn't have much of a bounce. So a little distinctly different. Who knows if that'll change tomorrow? It's Friday. You get options expiration. We had a lot of Fed speak today. You had the president talking, those IVF names moving around. So that'll be a big theme. You got the market recap show where there's a lot to cover, whether it's the chips. Heck, we spent the entire day post TSM earnings, and TSM wasn't even a thing on the show today. I mean, mostly, I think Joe traded it, but mostly because of the abject disappointment. TSM beat. TSM only faded. This didn't even uptrend at any point. It only faded all throughout the day. So looking a little bit nasty for them on a beat, keep in mind. And you also have IBKR reporting. They are, I believe it might be out, IBKR. I'm just going to flip over before we send you guys to the midday show. Big move up here. Interactive Brokers just popped $2. So you know what? Let's get on over, see if Adara has the numbers as well. Your market recap show, Sean and Adara, Interactive Brokers, right back down. Goes $3 up, $3 down. That's how earnings treat you. And all of it will be covered in the market recap right about now. Go get them. And back to the high.
Hi, guys. We have IBKR earnings, so I'll start with those if you don't mind, Sean. Q3 adjusted EPS, 57 cents versus 54 expected. That's a beat. Sales, would you believe it? They beat as well. 1.655 billion versus 1.505 billion expected. Now, again, the company joined the S&P 500 earlier this year. Nice little look there for IBKR, which is interacting higher here and definitely broke today's high. And I'm going to stop making bad IBKR puns right now. Let's see if we have CSX earnings. That was the other name we were expecting after the bell. And we have the numbers. I'm going to have to pour through this report. But yeah, it looks like here, operating margin 30.3%, not seeing how that compares to estimates. I'm going to wait till I have the comparisons here for CSX, but not too much movement. IBKR, though. Nice pop here. Merck also popping higher. You might have seen it on our screen. I did have the headline flashing there. Merck's EMD Serono, which is their U.S. unit, is going to be excluded from Section 232 tariffs. So Merck's U.S. unit excluded from tariffs. This came out a little bit before the bell. Didn't move much then. I guess after the bell, people started to process it. But IBKR certainly with earnings. How are you doing, Sean?
Good. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm alive, and it was a great day. It was a fun day. And it's a day.
Okay, I'm glad you're alive. Yeah, that's great. You mean trading-wise alive? Or what?
Oh, yeah, no, trading was fun. Okay. I will say, I think I was a little bit impatient in the morning. We did a nice, sometimes we talk about LFT, we don't always talk about gain from bottom. So gain from bottom is good, but now the goal tomorrow is to not be at the situation where you have to gain from bottom. But yeah, it's been a good week and a good month.
No. I was just only commenting. Is like normally when you ask someone like how their day is, there's like I'm alive. I feel like.
Oh no, that sounded like it wasn't really about trading. It's just I'm tired, and this week has been really crazy with news.
Same. Yeah, I feel pretty tired this week as well. IBKR is pulling right back in. I think it's a change in the weather, maybe.
Maybe.
It's getting darker earlier now.
Gloomier.
Waking up, it's darker.
The waking up darker, that actually could be what it is.
Glasses off, maybe. Okay, so just IBKR right now pulling back in. We were positive there on that move up to $71, now pulling back in. Doesn't look like it wants to do too much. Remember, we had a good, similar stock here. Charles Schwab yesterday comes out with their report as well, and they started going downside. You know, it looked like Schwab yesterday had that nice little beat going to the upside there, and then whoosh, all the way back down again. So we can see if we have something similar right there with IBKR as well. I do want to get up Sharif's document. Make sure you do hit the like and subscribe and hit the join. And if you do that, you do get all of this, man. All of this coming through. This is Sharif's little note there. We talked about Salesforce earlier. Hewlett-Packard falls there as well. Alibaba. We'll talk about Singles Day coming up. NEO, they're plunging on GIC files again there as well. Snowflake and Palantir with that deal coming through again. And then just more news. CoreWeave. What I'm looking for is Charles Schwab on here. I don't even see that. Apple eyes expansion into sports broadcasting. I think that's pretty cool there. And then some news on airlines. So shout out to the big dog over there, Sharif. Thanks for doing all of that work for us again and again. So yeah, but IBKR right now, then the other one, the rails, right? Get on those rails. I think rails have had a real nice look. I mean, this is generally seen as a sign of a healthy economy, and CSX right there, another bump higher. I don't know if I think you did review the numbers, but CSX right there taking out some nice levels on the daily again. So that's going to be a good little look now for CSX again. Like, you know, as we go on, right, the largest rail in the I don't know if it's higher than CP rail or not, but CSX right there, just miles of tracks. You could see 37 right there, been a good little spot for them, up 2% today. So we'll watch out to see if there's any continuation there for CSX. Okay, so I wanted to actually summarize Sharif's file there because a big play today was in the crypto space, as we did see Bitcoin lose a little bit. And I don't really know what the deal is with this. IBIT down 2%. Actually, IBIT down more than that. Let me call up IBIT before I go into Coinbase right now. IBIT down to $61. I stepped in there and bought a little bit today, down 3%. You could see we're basically at a support level, and we can call up Bitcoin itself, and here it is right here, just crypto. It's in an area right now that I'm going to zoom in a little bit so everyone can see this. We're in a level that we've been on since August, and that is 108, 108.50. So, you know, there's going to be some traders that bought tops and bought this move down. But, you know, last time we got down into here, it was a dip, you know, buy the dip opportunity. Now, do I think that Bitcoin has further to go? Yes, I am. I think everybody right now is eyeing 100,000. And when you're looking at a specific level, you want to make sure that A, you're ready for what happens there. Do you have your plan of action? Are you flattening your trade? Are you buying some more Bitcoin at 100? Because the issue for me is if 100 loses, then the next area that I look at is right here, which is 90. So we could be in like 10% sort of stages there. And I use the word tranche all the time. You may want to, Adara, buy your first tranche, which is like your first set of shares.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for $10,000 worth, buy 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 all the way down. I think that can work out for crypto. But as I said before, you're kind of just back to where we were at the beginning of the year right now, in and around this 100 to 110,000 area. Did we get like a specific story about crypto today, or?
There was that really weird PayPal story with the 300 trillion stable coins accidentally minted, and I say accidentally by their blockchain partner, but I think there's more of an issue with PayPal, and man, Sean, PayPal had a sad day. Like the stock was down, but I'm not even talking about the stock. I'm talking about the company. First, they have that like $300 trillion embarrassment. Then they have the situation there with our good friend Coinbase. Coinbase announces what was viewed, I guess, as a competitive product, and PayPal dumps. And then apparently they had user issues and people couldn't use their products. So if you are PayPal, I think you had a bad day. And hopefully no one trading PayPal had a bad day. We don't want that. But I do want to talk here about earnings a little bit more here, if I may, Sean. IBKR, Q3 adjusted earnings. We already talked about this double beat here, but their revenue actually up year over year by 21%. Adjusted net revenues. Net interest interest income, which we know is an important metric for this type of stock, that was up 21%. Total customer accounts up 32% year over year.
I like that.
It's a great look. I'm going to be honest here with IBKR, at least from a number perspective. And here's CSX. CSX stock actually doing a little bit better than IBKR. Slight beat here for Q3 EPS 44 versus 43 cents expected. Sales up 3.587 billion, beating estimates of 3.576 billion. Now, I do a little bit more details here. Revenue dropped by 1% year over year, but it did beat estimates, so that's always interesting when that happens. Their volumes here up 1% year over year and 2% quarter over quarter. So interesting look there for CSX, chugga chugga choo choo to the upside.
Yeah, I like that one, chugga chugga choo choo. Do you ever watch Thomas the Tank Engine?
Probably when I was a child, but I blocked it out. It was not a show that was of any consequence to me.
Probably good.
I guess. But I remember Franklin. That was the one with the turtles and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a good one. Arthur. There were Thomas the Tank Engine was not in my top 10, I guess.
Really?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, my kids used to watch that. Paw Patrol is very popular these days.
See, that was not of my generation. But yeah, my friend who has kids, like they love Paw Patrol. And Miss Rachel on YouTube. That's I think a thing too for kids. But yeah. YouTube now is like
Miss
the thing.
Rachel? I don't know.
It's some woman who like does kids entertainment, I guess.
Oh, there was, when my kids were growing up, there was some kid that was opening things. I forget his name. Ryan, something. Ryan's Toys on.
Oh, I've heard of that, but I don't know what that is.
I think literally opening up toys. We're live on air. And I think one Christmas we actually bought, because then he had like these things at Walmart where it was like a box and you had to buy it and open it yourself. Shout out to Ryan. That kid's probably like 20 years old now and just cashing in right now like crazy. So I know we had talked about PayPal before. I just want to call up the daily chart here. And look, this is going to be another play like I'm thinking like almost like a target. And I don't know, Adara, you have a good memory. I feel like PayPal either needs a new CEO or they most recently.
They switched to like about a year ago, almost years ago.
So I feel
Alex Chris.
Alex Chris.
And he's most famous, Sean.
I don't trust anybody with two first names.
Well, the Chris has two S's, so it's a little different. But our friend
Chris Angel has two S's.
Does it? I didn't know that. Anyway, so Alex Chris will always be remembered for me in January 2024 when he's like, we're going to shock the world.
Oh, right,
and then
right.
He tanked the stock.
I do remember that.
Alex Chris is mostly memorable for that. I don't know. He's been with the company. I want to say he joined in late 23, so it'd be about 2 years now. I don't know how well received he's been, but maybe we need to say goodbye to Alex Chris. A lot of these companies are announcing dual CEOs. Maybe that's what PayPal needs.
Well, I just don't like the fact that, you know, somebody dropped the ball over there with this coin and with this and all that. And you're looking at the way PayPal's reacting right here. We were just at $80 not too long ago, and I remember that we had sort of stamped this breakout that we had liked it. I'm still in the stock. I haven't bought it anymore, but I'm thinking, and we've talked about this, if PayPal, I'd said, if we ever got back into this area, 66 bucks, I thought it might be worth a little bit of a buy in there for PayPal. But I mean, its forward P is 13 or 15. So I like the stock here. I think there's some opportunities for PayPal, but I don't understand what they're doing today. And then you talked about Coinbase, talking about a new product and whatnot. But here goes IBKR. Just a quick look in here, $69 on this one. So pretty flat off earnings. I mean, we went out today, you know, at 68.75, so 69.50. We're not going to worry about that. And then CSX with Thomas the Tank Engine right there. I think that might be their new CEO. Nice move up there to $37 right now. Yeah, he may be there. He might be a little young for that job. But okay, some key stories today, man.
Newsmax.
We did have Newsmax is going.
I just want to mention it's pushing higher.
Let's go.
And it's kind of a wild catalyst. So here's NMAX pushing higher here. The company authorizing a $5 million purchase of Bitcoin and Trump coin over the next 12 months as part of, I guess, their announcement of a new strategic business plan. That would happen there to NMAX.
What the heck? I mean,
that happened.
I think Obi and I were talking about this last week, and I mean, obviously you being on the news desk has added so much to our show, but it's like these stories, they hit and they pop. We had that HUD 8 story. We had IVF. You were talking about that. IVF was $2. Trump comes on, bang, down to 140.
Yeah.
GitLab today. I mean, you probably have numerous examples on the daily, and there's another one there with Newsmax. Be careful in the after hours because you don't know what the volume's going on. TSMC, I mean, talk about a great report that comes out today. They're good profit there on this AI chip boom. They reported a 39% year-over-year surge there in profits and revenue growth forecast, all driven by this AI mega trend. You know, revenues jumping 30%, huge number there. Net income rose 13% as well. So this is what TSM looks like here on the daily. But even these numbers do not hold up today, and they wind up falling back down into the downside. This is where I get nervous. Oh, Oracle was another story today as well that popped up. So yeah, TSM, nice downside play there, not really reacting too great. Salesforce, again, you know, it was lifted early today. It was up 6.5% or something like that. They only wind up 4%. So they even pull back on Salesforce, lifts their long-term outlook there and their bets on their Agentforce AI. So Salesforce, again, shares jumped, setting 2030 revenue guidance. 2030. 5 years from now, over 60 billion is what they're looking at there. And again, this is their prediction. So that makes me a little bit nervous as well, because the market does not believe it. This is going to be a show me story. Remember when Oracle came out and they blasted up into 2030 and talked about having, you know, this huge increase in revenue? Well, I guess Salesforce tried the same type of thing. It doesn't get going today. A little bit nervous about the pullback. Whenever you get good stories, man, you should continue forward, right? And I mean, Oracle gets that huge bump on their revenue number as well. Once this chart loads up right there, and then since then it's pulled back and pretty aggressively as well. Today I did sell some Oracle near the top there. Oh, HPE, a good story there today as well, but downside on weak guidance. So a good story if you're short, but look what's happened to them, man. Server side action, not great there. We had Dell come out with a good forecast as well, but HP shares dropped more than 7% to open the day, but finishes down 11% on disappointing forward 26 forecast, and adjusted their EPS and revenue guidance, both missing expectations. So there goes HPE, Adara, as well. And Adara, don't ever feel bad about interrupting me, because this is your show as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know about that, but I'll always interrupt with news.
Yes, please do, please do. Okay, Alibaba. I don't know, you like Alibaba here, Adara, because they have a big AI story attached to it, right? And we always talk about China and US dominance in the chip space, but apparently Alibaba working on new chips, getting going as well. What's that look on your face?
Well, I just looked at the daily chart,
and the way Trump was doing something again.
No, I want to see what happens there with that 157.30. Right, it kind of looks dicey to me in the daily. This is just our calendar for all the things to watch today. That's all it is. I just have it up here to remind you guys. But yeah, with regards to Baba, Sean, I want to see us like, I don't like that 157.30 at all.
The interesting thing for me for Alibaba, today's story was, of course, that they reported a 12% increase in their advertising driven by AI. So if they're seeing a return on investment a little bit there, I think that's a good thing for Alibaba. Obviously, with Singles Day, I think is around the corner. I don't know if it's tomorrow or not, but I did see some news about Alibaba and Singles Day. They will just do like, not $1 trillion, but like a lot of money in Singles Day. But remember, it's like Amazon, right? The margins and everything on the retail side of it is not why you want to own an Amazon or really an Alibaba. You're looking for the future growth in the name. Actually, TCEHY, Tencent. First of all, I want to thank all 3,500 of you that are still here, man. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. 3,600. Here, right here. Hit the like and the subscribe and let's get that going. I mean, like I just said, man, this is Adara here. Let's give her some credit with all the hard work that she's been doing. And if you don't hit the like button, you don't have to, but let's get going. Let's see if we can get 700 of you, at least 150 of you hit the like button. Yeah, but so Tencent's another name. This is not a great trading vehicle here. Tencent doesn't do too much as it is an OTC stock. So right here in the US, when the US is open, and we talked about Eason and the advantages of charting different names at different times, watch out for Tencent. But look at this pullback, man. I didn't even notice this. Guess what, Adara? I'm a buyer of Tencent at these levels. I actually have to go in and...
You have to get more than 10 cents, though, to buy.
TCEHY, yeah, you do.
Several cents.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one there. But the reason why here is, look at this. We take a look at that. Do not look at this right now, though, because I'm failing. But I was trying to, I don't know why this mouse is not working over here, Fabian. I'm going to have to, there, yeah, big time. Keep hitting that, man. Put it right in my face. Right there. PE is what I was looking for, and it's right here. It's 18 with a current P of 25. You're not going to see many mega cap names that are anywhere near that. So I think Tencent has a move to the high side there. But again, the risk with Chinese names is you do, and I don't have the thank you, Adara, but you do have the Donald Trump sort of give and take there. Yeah, there you go. Wait, perfect. That's even better. With China right there, we worry about... I don't know. Have you been hearing anything about delistings or anything like that?
Honestly, the delisting talk I haven't heard in months. I think the bigger issue is the decoupling talk. And to be clear, China doesn't want to decouple. China has said we do not want, decouple from the U.S. So that's like the bigger issue. I think economically, it's like delisting. Honestly, at this point, China's small potatoes. Right now, they're actively considering breaking up the countries economically. And to be fair, that is a lot more U.S. than it is China. China's literally said, why would we decouple? Please don't do this, U.S. Jameson Greer, who is a U.S. trade rep, he's been a little bit more tepid about it. He's like, well, you know, we don't want to, but we will if we have to. But Scott Bessent seems a lot more ready to go. And he's been a lot more vocally, I don't want to say opposed to China, but he's more vocally critical of China in recent days. We know yesterday we had that drop in the market. It was already dropping, but I don't think the fact that he urged the World Bank to stop supporting China, I don't think that helped. Right. So yeah, so interesting look there with regards to China. The point I'm trying to make there, Sean, is I think delisting is a concern, but I don't think it's the biggest concern right now.
Thank you.
Working on lunch though, how did you like it?
It was okay. I found the meat to be a bit oddish tasting, but I had all of the lettuce.
Yeah, never. Please, if you think something's odd tasting, please stop eating it.
It wasn't okay.
Last thing
I had to have
food poisoning around here.
I don't think it was like poisoned. I just think it was not for me.
Like we keep talking, we're just joking back and forth here. Obviously, Neil had some time off, and I'm off tomorrow, and all this kind of stuff. These are vacation days, but at the end of the day, like if the caterer, if we ever got food poisoning around here, that would affect my guy Fabian, Ramin, Joe. I should stop. Forget it. The more we talk about things comes into existence, it's a problem. That would really whack us all right here. I did want to go over, so there's FXI first of all. Let's have a quick look at that before I bring up the Fed. Yeah, so FXI, again, you know, China was really cooking, and now FXI, this is the large cap ETF for China. It has really started to pull back off a little bit here. And we always talk about buying ETFs at the 50 period, so we're right there right now for FXI, and then the 200 period are always fantastic. I mean, this is the 200 period back when tariffs were here, right? I mean, this, I don't know why it's not. If I go back forward, you're going to see it right here. It probably was a great one, probably coming from highs, but there it is, a nice little bounce off of that. So FXI. The other one, of course, Adara, is KWeb. So let me just call this up quickly. KWeb, yeah, QBTS or whatever his name is there, coming back in there. So we'll see KWeb. Yeah, look at this one. So Baidu, and again, in some of the big internet stocks, this is the Chinese internet. So if you like some of those names, look at KWeb as well. We did get a story today of NI. Yes, President, that is right. We did get a story about NIO. I'll give you one guess of what NIO's high is of all time. Did you see in the midday show?
No, I heard them say something about $30. Is that, I'm going to go with $44.75.
Yeah, no, it's $68 or something like that is the high. And if this ever loads up, I don't know if we need a monthly chart on here or not, but there it is. Hey, what's going on, Fabian? Here it is right here. So this is a monthly chart. $56, $57 right there, all the way to the downside. That's a COVID move up there and all the way back down in. So, you know, some of these names really need some work done to them. And yeah, NEO, nice upside play. But today, we did have a move higher. NEO's been getting hit a little bit lately. There, I'm not even sure what the story was today.
Wait, which one?
NIO.
Apparently there's like some threat of, or there's going to be a suit.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so one group of shareholders, they're suing because NEO didn't disclose that one of, I guess their battery provider. Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't disclose they had like some kind of financial entanglement, and then they're saying they should have disclosed that. They're saying that they tried to puff up their revenue projections. It was a bad look. There was a short report about it 3 years earlier, so we already kind of had context for it, and then this came out.
It's a really interesting one because it's on their battery subscription model, and I thought that was a pretty cool model when it was first delivered, that the fact that you can just exchange your battery. But I just wonder how much work is involved in that. Like, honestly, like now that I have an EV, it's like I really just like plugging the thing in and letting it charge and hopefully not degrading the battery. Obviously, after time, I think Tesla batteries, you guys tell me, but I think it's like 8 to 10 years sort of a lifespan before they really start degrading. So I don't know. That is interesting. And no doubt, man, I mean, when you're a Singapore Sovereign Wealth Fund, you probably have a lot of money into NIO. And then you're obviously wondering, hey, what's up with the accounting? Like, I do know that Alibaba, I believe, is with Deloitte and Touche. So we do know that their accounting is probably enough solid there for them to stamp that approval on because they're reporting here as an ADR, but so is NIO. So maybe their accounting is fine. And I don't know, it almost feels like it's a one of those short reports out there if they're having accounting issues. So maybe we'll wait to see if there is a soon-to-be short report here on NIO. But all right, I haven't heard of that. I'm just thinking.
There's already one prior, that's why I brought it up, but I don't know if there's going to be a new one.
We do have a report coming on October the 29th, and that is from the Fed. And what we're expecting, again, we've been hearing that, yeah, we're really excited about that, I know. I see you're wearing the purple today. That's maybe in for Jerome Powell.
Maybe I should wear purple the next Fed meeting, because I mean, like, in honor of our pal Jay Powell.
Yeah, put that in the calendar. You'll remember anyways, but I think that would be cool if you did that. Okay, but right here, this is what the projection is. So we're looking at 25 basis points right now. So that would bring us down into 375 to 4 over the overnight rate. But Adair, there is a glimmer of hope right now. 5% that maybe we get 50 basis points. I don't think that's going to be coming through. I haven't really heard anything. And the thing is, with lack of data right now coming from, that's okay, Fabe, we can get out of that. Lack of data now coming from many of these agencies with the government shutdown. We're no longer getting that jobs report. So what is the Fed really going to base their numbers on and their projections on? So I don't know, man. If they're supposed to be data sensitive, they're not getting much data. So I think we just stay the course and maybe we get 25 now, 25 in December, and that's that.
I know one Fed member who claims they don't need data. His name is Stephen Myron, and guys, I'm not making this up. He literally said that he does not believe that the Fed rate decision should be based on past data. He thinks that, again, I'm not joking, guys, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. He put these words in his own mouth. He said yesterday that he believes Fed rate decisions should be based on where they think inflation should be a year from now, and not where it is currently, which is a choice for sure. But again, he is on the Fed. He is an expert in the field. So just putting his phrasing, I will say other Fed members have said this isn't the end of the world. They don't have data. They still do have privately released data. But even like Feds that have been more dovish as of late, like Waller, he said he doesn't really see the need for more than a 25 basis point cut. And our dovish friend Myron even said, like, he doesn't think that there should be more of than a 50 basis point cut at a time, which I know sounds extreme, but for Myron, I promise that is pretty mild. So he thinks like 50 basis point cuts max at a time. And again, Waller saying maybe 25 basis points max. Either way, too, it's worth noting, I believe it was Fed's Waller that said today that dissent at the Fed is normal. So if we get another dissenting vote, which, by the way, guys, would be our third in 3 months, if we get another situation where there is a dissenting vote, I don't think we should think that it's too out of the ordinary, because
13 voting members?
12 voting members, but we had like 2 dissent in July. We had 1 dissent in September, and I suspect we might have more dissent going forward. But again, this shouldn't really be a bad sign. It's just kind of a sign that the Fed is diverging in opinions a bit, which is interesting, but not necessarily good or bad. And if people want to hear more, Adara Fed rants, this is probably not the platform. But I will say as well here, Ripping Millionaire asking what happens when it comes out, when does it come out? I don't know about all the numbers, but CPI confirmed by the BLS. They're going to release that next Friday, so 8 days from now. I'll have to talk about this ARTV because a lot of people in the chat are mentioning it, Sean. Artiva Biotherapeutics trading higher after the company announced that the FDA granted fast-track designation to one of its treatments. So there we go. Oh, great. Oracle announcing more crazy targets for like 3 years from now.
Oh, no.
Oracle executives saying that the company expects to reach $225 billion in revenue. Oh my gosh. And $21 in adjusted earnings per share by fiscal 2030.
Let me tell you the greatest thing. You probably didn't hear this. So Neil, right when we were done, I told him that I'd sold Oracle at 319 today, so I did do some of that in the long-term account. And then I said, you know what, tomorrow I'll probably be upset when it opens up around 320. All right? And Neil goes, no way it opens up anywhere near 320. All right? On that news, Adara, we got to right here.
We dropped
318.50.
And then we came right back down.
And now we're coming right back down. So Neil's going to win that one. I'm going to feel good about selling that. But there goes Oracle. And again, and I just sold some because it was right here. I am getting a little bearish on the, not on the market, but heading into earnings season. If the earnings are going to blast and prove that there's a lot of, get up still in these names, then I'm here. I'm not selling the whole position, but definitely Oracle. Nice move to the downside right here. And by selling, man, like I'm talking about selling like 15 to 20% of these names. We did flatten out of SMR, but Oracle was another one. I want to talk about something else. Oh yeah, this is another play today, Snowflake. You want to talk about taking advantage of intra-market, intraday plays. Snowflake today started out real super hot fire, right? Like it had a nice move upside. We closed yesterday at 240 on Snowflake. Flip over to the chart quickly, Ramin, and then you don't have to do anything else after that. So this 240, Yeah, okay, see ya. So there we go. So well, we're almost done. I like Ramin takes over when there's like 2 minutes left, you know, just so she can make sure that this show ends. But right there, 240.50 is where we started at yesterday. Nice move up there into 257. And of course, Snowflake and Palantir announced a strategic partnership to integrate their AI data cloud and foundry systems, accelerating enterprise adoption. So that's going to work for both, but not for Snowflake apparently. Once they opened up here today, it's just been like, yeah, my kids, both of them, yeah, both, exactly, good move there, Dara. Both my kids when they were in grade school, which they still are, but there's a song that says, falling, falling, snowflake, something like that. And they do this little cute thing like you were just doing, where the snowflake is falling and then they drop snow from the sun. But that's what it felt like today for Snowflake shareholders as they make that move. I have no idea what I'm doing. Am I almost off yet? Falling back into 240, down into 237 there with that bottom. So watch out for Snowflake.
Get in that church.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ramin, I don't know. She's in control.
Oh, what's
now.
Ramin?
So like I said,
okay, I was gonna say.
I've already said, man, like we talked about woman boss.
Get it, Ramin.
Like obviously, in my life, like my mother being Italian, like, you know, whatever, like I'm a big, huge mama's boy, like it's crazy how big, to be honest with you. And then both like my daughter and a teacher kind of was like yelling at my daughter a couple of days ago, which teachers I don't think should be yelling at kids, especially when they're 11 years old.
No.
But, you know, Marissa goes, well, she was talking a lot in class. I'm like, gee, I wonder where she gets that from. And then but instantly, like when I hear that, like someone's yelling at her, instantly like that rage,
yeah,
you know, like, comes in there, but it probably was her fault. And then, of course, here we got Ramin and yourself. I feel like you're my bosses as well. And then my wife, of course, is the number one. And that's why I said the stock market must be a female, because I feel like sitting here trading every day, I say that the only thing we have to answer to is the market.
Well, Obi always says mother market.
There we go.
Right? So he's going to be in tomorrow, guys. So, oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay, as we continue to wrap up, was there any major stories that we missed here today? Probably. We had Eli Lilly going a little bit off today, a little bit, Novo Nordisk, some stories around that.
I'll tell you, Lilly was just technical. Like, as someone who has every trend line on Eli Lilly, the level it popped to was pure technical, and the way it dropped was also pure technical. So take it from one Lilly nerd to another. That's kind of how it is. But I don't have anything else here to note. Apparently, a PayPal co-founder has just been added to Coca-Cola's board. I don't think that's going to be a thing. But PayPal might be a thing tomorrow because, again, bad news after bad news for PayPal. And it was more like Sell Pal. That was a terrible pun today. So, yeah, that I don't know. That's not really any stories we haven't discussed. IVF, though, certainly on watch. Trump is answering questions now, none of which have to do with IVF.
So a quick little recap for my own personal portfolio today as we wrap up the show. I sold some Oracle, I sold some Marvell, I sold some SMR today in the market. We bought some Bitcoin. That was all that we wound up buying. So we sold those three names and bought some Bitcoin, and we are excited. Okay, today, I don't know if you know about this today, but today is National Shawarma Day.
Is it?
Yes. Because I got an email because I have the app for Osmows, and that's around here, and they're like, huh? Osmows? Osmos?
Osmos.
You know why? Because there was an ad about, and it was Fred Van Fleet, and I think it was the Raptors. They were one of the first, and they're like, Osmow, and they were doing like, okay. Anyways, I don't know.
Yikes.
Anyways, got it today. It's $5 shawarma.
Huh.
So this is, yeah. So this is a shawarma, and I think you could pick between falafel, the gyro, and chicken. And what else?
Oh, Trump's talking Zempi, by the way, guys.
Probably at lamb. Okay, so
chicken.
Any of those, chicken. Okay, so
what
that's
about
what that is. I'll probably go the gyro itself.
Have you heard Drake saying gyro in that one song? Because it's hilarious.
What does he say?
It's him on the radar freestyle with Central C. He puts out a Greek accent. Anyways, everybody listen to it. But also Trump talking about Ozempic, so keep an eye on Novo and Lilly.
All right, guys, thank you so much for all of that. Go get a shawarma if you want. Chicken's a good call there as well. Falafel, I like falafel. Thank you so much for joining today. Once again, it's 4:30. Anything? Oh, okay, good. You're just saying bye, okay? I know the news never stops, so that's why. I'm not here tomorrow. Thank you to everybody. Thanks to Russell for all his hard work in the background as well. Everybody have a great weekend, and yeah, more to come tomorrow. Yeah, we got the day off, which is good, man. I think today I had some headaches. They took off the little bandage yesterday, the contact bandage.
Yeah.
So it's all good. They just said to make sure I wear these glasses, which is why we were doing that more and more today. So we'll have a couple days off heading in, and next week will be A-OK. We'll be okay. All right, thank you so much. That's Adara. I'm Sean. See you Monday. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 8:30, though.